What up, everybody? Flagrant 2, another episode, new opening. I'm Andrew Schulz. I'm here with Akaash Singh, Real Life Kaz, and AlexxMedia, but we don't even need to do those introductions because you click the link. You know who the fuck we are. Some of y'all see that we have my man Adam from No Jumper Podcast, No Jumper Productions, No Jumper Pornography, No Jumper Everything on the podcast today. That interview starts in about an hour and change. So if you don't give a fuck about what we got to say, you could just fast forward right to that. But if you like to indulge in the flagrancy, we have a lot of it this week. Trust me. We almost hit Patreon levels. Alex really had to calm us down for a moment. He really had to reel us in. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Without further ado, let's start the episode. And here it is. Flagrant 2. Keep it tight. What's up, everybody? Flagrant 2 has begun. Different intro today.
Oh, a lot of energy.
Energy
is shifted.
We don't need to introduce ourselves. You know who the fuck we are. You clicked on the goddamn link.
It's a big dick intro.
That's right. Spread these legs. They uncrossed. I'm not letting women bully me into taking less space. Taking the exact amount of space God wanted me to take. All right? Put my dick and balls in between my legs so I can man spread. I'm fucking ready.
I'm ready
for some flagrancy. I got my take.
As you sit on a pillow for your hemorrhoid.
Wait, man, come on.
You shifted it.
You can't be tough with a hemorrhoid pillow.
My hemi's gone, but it's so comfy, bro. It's like once you have the hemi pillow in your life, you can't go back.
But you know what
it's like a bidet. You know what I mean? Like I be wiping my ass now with dry fucking toilet paper. I'm like, yo, poor people suck.
Yo,
That's how I feel.
Just took a shit and I felt so bad that I can't properly clean my ass.
Yo, you know what you gotta do?
I clean my ass like peasants.
Dude, it's pathetic. I'm not King's Landing in my ass.
Oh,
you know what you gotta do? You gotta spit on the toilet paper, get a little moist.
Nah,
I got long arms though, so a lot of times my
deep
toilet,
you getting in your asshole?
No, my toilet. No, my toilet can reach.
Right about the time I get to the wrist.
What's into my wristwatch? I'm like, yeah, maybe I should pull out.
That's the only reason why you got the watch. It's a buffer. You're like, okay, calm down.
It's a marker.
It's only Monday.
Oh gosh. No, I reached the faucet, give it a little dab, get a little dab with the toilet paper.
Boom.
Not in this bathroom though.
You gotta make them wet wipes, bro.
I'll take a little toilet paper residue if I get some extra
Extra
creds out of there. Extra nuggets.
In a backpack. Take that shit with you.
Yeah, but them supposed to be drying up if you don't stick it.
I stole mad.
And then you got just dry ass fucking. What's that?
I stole mad hospital wet wipes. Like,
Yo, you got to do it. Get your
had
money's
to.
worth, man.
Yeah,
You pay for healthcare.
Hospital quality wet wipes, like
The best.
industrial size.
The best.
They
All
don't
right.
tear.
Here's my flagrant thought of the week. It's actually a little bit old, but I'm gonna run it by you guys because I don't know if we spoke about it on this podcast.
Yeah,
Maybe we did. I'm not sure, but did we talk about how in South Korea?
No.
Okay, so in South Korea, this doctor aborted the wrong baby.
Oh, fuck, yo.
Yeah. So it was actually kind of crazy. Like there was two women went in. One went in to have the baby. The other went in to have the abortion. And like,
Wait, they do that in the same place?
son, yeah, at the hospital.
Wow.
Are you allowed to get abortions that late?
Son, no. I guess it was just there. Like one was just checking. No, not have the baby. Sorry, one was there to just get her checkup,
Okay.
and the other one
gotcha,
was there to get the abortion. And the doctor aborted the wrong baby. And the headline of the article was like, "Oh my God, how could this happen?" And then I'm looking at like. I can see how mistakes could be made in that particular part of the world. I'm just throwing that out there.
Hey,
Like,
they can't even tell.
they can't tell.
They can't tell.
Y'all not gonna be upset at us for mixing it up no more, bro. My man really looked at two women. It was like, all right,
That works.
fuck,
Seems this all checks out.
yo, that was my flagrant thought of the week.
God damn. Do I got flagrant? My flagrant thought of the week. God damn. Fucking Ray J.
Whoa.
What was this?
Ray
happened?
J.
Proud sponsor of this podcast.
Proud sponsor of this podcast.
Still need to pay up, by the way.
Still needs to pay up. But I'm sure he will because Ray J is probably one of the greatest living Black Americans.
Okay.
Whoa.
One of the greatest
This is
living
flagrant.
Black
I like that.
I want to
Americans.
see where you go with
Hey,
Ray
it's
J.
spicy.
Let's fucking start it off. Boom.
Someone give him a boulevard.
Let's start. Let's start it off.
You're not
Ray
a
J.
great Black American unless you got a boulevard, bro.
Oh, he will. He runs Compton. He was the first blood.
He'll run
He was
right-
the first blood on record. He was
Wait,
the fir-
really?
Yes. He was the first blood to he was the first singer to claim blood on record. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. Before that, Ray
Think
J.
Ray J Boulevard runs right through Kim Kardashian's driveway.
Dog, think of all the greatness Ray J has given us.
Okay.
He's given us
The Kardashians.
being the Kardashians.
Right.
Brandy's brother, Moesha, fucking those scooters and shit, Raycon headphones.
All right.
Fucking,
He didn't give us Moesha.
He did give us Moesha.
Brandy gave us
Yeah.
Moesha.
Brandy gave us
Come on,
Ray
son.
J.
Yeah, Brandy
gave us-
really is the GOAT when you think about it.
But think about it though, who's really lasted longer? Who's really stayed out the public eye? Ray J didn't.
Brandy
run
had to stay out the public eye.
That's something Ray J did, was a better driver, clearly. Bro, think about it. Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying? Classic moments in Black culture.
Wait, what happened with Floyd?
You see it 24/7 or Ray J's singing on his piano, fucking weak ass voice.
Fucking
You don't remember
Fabulous
this?
came through.
No, I forgot
Yo.
this.
And he punked Fabulous on the Breakfast Club, talking mad shit, and made him apologize in front of everybody.
Wait, he did?
Yeah, dog,
What'd he
I did
say?
not remember this.
I don't remember that.
Dog, this is a classic moment in Breakfast. Alex, you remember this shit?
Yeah, but I don't remember Fab apologizing. I remember Ray J sounding like an idiot because he was
Listen,
coked up during the interview.
Listen, all I know
Yeah,
is
Really?
Yeah, he was crazy coked
all I
up.
know, Ray J was talking this.
Only thing I know about Ray J is his dick, bro.
I've ever seen.
I know that shit's so good. Just him and Rick. I just like
I was gonna
R's.
say who's.
I like
Yo,
R's. Honestly, Rick's dick could fit inside Ray J's dick. You want to talk about docking, bro?
hell of a doc.
Motherfucker could deep dock. Dude, Rick's dick could fit inside Ray J's dick hole and then go to the balls. Guaranteed. What, bro? It's like a trombone.
I say all that to say, news came out this week that Suge Knight has given
His life rights.
his life rights to Ray J.
In other words, Ray J can produce a movie, a play, or
Whatever he wants.
Wow.
Whatever he wants.
wow.
Suge Knight has been through so much shit. Killed so many, allegedly.
If Ray J
been
really
involved-
cared about the black community, you know what he produced? Evidence. That's what the motherfucker needs to produce on Suge.
But you don't know. You don't know, man. Ray J, I've never been one to doubt Ray J and his greatness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For almost, 25 years, he stayed relevant. My God.
With no
So
talent.
he's the
Just
greatest Black American.
He's one of the greatest living Black Americans of our time.
Okay, give me your top 5 greatest Black Americans.
Let's go.
Living Black Americans.
All right, we got
Go.
Barack Obama,
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey,
Oprah Winfrey,
Solid.
Tyler Perry,
Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry's in there.
TP. You gotta put
You gotta
TP
put
in
Tyler
there.
Perry in there, bro.
Okay.
Ray J.
Ray J,
Oh,
Maya Angelou.
above Jay?
Ray J. No, I'm just kidding.
Ray J did more with less.
Ray J
Ray
has
J
done a
did
lot
more
with
with less.
Okay.
If you're going by the Tom Brady system of Jay-Z's like Tom Brady, it's all right, you're in a great system,
No.
great artist, great wife, great fucking all this other
Ray
shit.
J's the Tom Brady.
Ray J's like the Patrick Mahomes, bro.
Hold up. Jay
Ray J-
is the natural ability, natural
Yeah.
skill,
Yeah.
whereas Ray J doesn't have the natural ability or skill, but has done so much because I don't even know if you can give him the Patriots system. He
He's
kind of
almost
did it
like-
without any
He was more like
Ray
he's
J
more
Trent Dilfer.
real talk. Real talk.
Ray J's the Trent Dilfer. You don't know how he did
got
it.
rings,
but when
yo.
you look at the record book, he's got a Super Bowl under his belt, bro.
Maybe he Eli. You know what I mean?
He's like, maybe.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, he's done it with no system,
Ray J is
no
the
support,
Eli Manning.
no talent.
no talent, no real talent. When you
He's
think
the Eli
about it,
Manning
Bro,
of black
one
men,
wish
yo.
yo, he's the Eli Manning.
He's the Eli Manning of black
Black
men,
men.
bro.
Just a,
Like, he's got
a
more
lesser known
popular-
brother, a lesser known brother, may or may not be retarded, somehow manages to outlast.
But when you look
his
at the
sibling-
record books, it's like, he's got his
Ray J
championships.
was here, yo. He left
He's
his
got
mark.
his moments. It's like when you look at the Hall of Fame, you say Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. The first thing you say is like, no.
And then
but
you
then
go,
you look at it, it's like,
whoa.
damn, he's really.
He might be a Hall of Famer, bro.
That's Ray J, bro. Eli Ray
that's so
J.
funny.
Ray J Manning.
Yo, there's not a weaker voice in a hit song than him singing One Wish. That shit was
If I
anemic.
had
Yo.
one
If I had
wish,
one wish.
Facts.
We would be best friends.
Still went number one though.
It went number one.
It shit slapped. I wish somebody else sang it because it slapped so fucking hard.
Hold on, I gotta get this up.
Oh man. I will if I get one. He's not even singing. He's just like talking rhythmically.
What was the song with Lil Kim?
Wait a minute.
Oh,
Yo.
wait a minute,
Pharrell.
went hard.
Banger.
it's like-
Banger, yo.
Hold
You
on,
kidding
let me
me?
get this up.
He was one of the first singers on Pharrell beat on Neptune beats, bro.
Yo.
Come on, man. Give Ray J his props.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute is at least 20 years old. Still slaps.
Hold on, we gotta kind of talk through it
Uh-huh.
because
Is
we
this
don't want to
One
get
Wish?
flagged.
Talk about it. Is this the
He had
extra
another
long
joint
intro?
that slapped that with the hit song.
Yo, hold up,
I hit it first.
hold on.
Nah,
I got
that's-
I gotta give credit. I gotta give credit to the Joe Budden podcast, bro.
Yes. Yeah. shout
I
out
saw a
to Joe
clip
Budden.
on YouTube
Uh-huh.
and I was howling. It was Joe Budden making fun of Designer. Remember that song, Timmy Turner?
Yeah.
But he was going
shit
Willy
was hard.
Willy Wonka. He be making all the chocolate. Like, son, that shit had me fucking dying, bro. Oh my
shit.
god, bro! It's like a 5 to 8 minute clip
Yeah.
of him just doing Willy Wonka instead of Timmy Turner, bro.
You should play that.
He be wearing a romper, or something like that. Sounding just like Cookie Monster. Like,
Timmy Turner slapped though.
Yo, Designer had a little. he had a little
I
wave.
love Timmy Turner,
Yeah.
but after listening to that song, I'll never listen to that shit the same
goddamn.
again, bro.
The actual song wasn't even good. Like the XXL freestyle with no beat, and he just kind of
Fire.
sitting there by himself. I'm like, this is fantastic.
Fire, and then the song came
The
out.
song comes out, I'm like, all right.
It felt too intimate. It was like it's just you and Designer.
Yeah, like
In a room together, you're like,
you hear echoes in the back.
yeah,
Like,
what's
is anybody
going
else
on?
here?
Who produced this?
Great. yo.
Okay, back to Ray J.
Yeah, Ray J the GOAT, the greatest.
All right, keep going.
One
So,
of my greatest.
Or-
Americans.
What was the other? Can you look up other hit records? He had another one.
Since I loved you first. Is this the actual?
do you think it would pick it up from here, Alex?
Nah.
Oh, that's not.
You could
That's
just
the
talk.
weird version. That's not the real
What?
version. Nah, you gotta go to
It's the remix,
As
yo.
a matter of fact, I was the one that said I loved you first. It was about 8 years ago.
That sounds like
Act
Usher.
like you don't know. Come on, son.
Oh, you're thinking of Sexy Can I?
Sexy
Sexy
can
can but in the
Yes.
minute. Yo, Ray J the best black man ever.
Give
Real
Ray J his
talk.
props, B.
Beat it,
Vince
Obama.
Staples never
Beat
lied,
it,
yo.
Oprah. Oprah, you ain't got no hats.
God damn.
You ain't
yo.
selling no Scullies.
Vince Staples never lied, man. He's selling sunglasses,
Hey, real
headphones.
talk, I don't fuck with Oprah. That bitch has an ugly Beyonce to me.
Wow. Wow.
Speak on it. Why
Is that your flagrant thought of the week?
Yo, you know
I
what?
guess that's it.
Fuck Oprah, yo.
Wow.
Fuck Oprah, dog.
Okay, break
Yo,
it down.
Kaz,
Why?
You better stop laughing.
You're right.
We just decide this bitch the truth, and for what?
She the truth,
Just
bro.
say black
Why?
lady.
She the
Just
truth.
say black lady.
Yo,
Like,
go on,
that's-
go on. Convince me. I'm not knocking you. Just convince me, because right now I'm not convinced.
You're convinced that Ray J is one of the greatest living black Americans.
No.
First of all,
Ray
okay.
J. This is the greatest black Americans ever in history. George Washington Carver. Hold on, let's be honest.
Number one.
Yo, number one, George Washington Carver.
Peanut butter off rip.
Yo, let's be
Solid,
honest.
yo.
How many of y'all
Come on,
use
man.
peanut butter?
How versatile is
Even
peanut
white
butter, bro?
people, they're racist as fuck. We're like, nah, that motherfucker makes some good peanut
put
butter.
that on some
Jelly ain't
toast, bro.
shit.
Real talk.
Jelly ain't shit without George Washington.
How many
Carver.
racist white people just having jelly sandwiches? Right? Nah.
How do we give him that much credit just for putting peanuts in his mouth and chewing? It's like, oh, it's
Yo, peanut butter.
Nobody else did.
that's all he did.
Nobody. If it was that simple, everybody
Let
would
me
have
tell you
did
something.
it.
Peanut butter and jelly, son. Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter
That's
and
the
chocolate?
greatest motherfucking sandwich ever. It's so great. Like, even the racists, when they eat it, they're like, I know what the N stands for. He had a little for everybody. He had a little bit. Because if you think about it, it goes peanut butter, jelly. Okay, so back to what we're talking about. We have number one, George Washington Carver.
Boom.
Okay?
Off rip.
Number 2.
OJ.
Bro, let's talk about it. Oh, yo.
Legend.
Okay.
You gotta
Number
put-
2. Okay.
Dog,
Number
Naked
1.
Gun movies.
George Washington Carver. Number 2, OJ. Number 3, Abraham Lincoln. Number 4, who's number 4?
Abe Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln, definitely fourth greatest black man in American history. Number 4.
Bruh.
If Tiger wins one more master,
Tiger
If
Woods.
Tiger
It's
wins
weird
one
that
more
you just
master,
call it master.
isn't it?
Especially in reference to Tiger. It's masters.
Yo,
You
son.
sound mad
Yo,
uncomfortable when you say
Yo,
Tiger
bro.
gets a master.
You relapse,
Why
bro.
Fuck, I'm
I said peanut butter 3 times. He turned into
like Slade Beetlejuice.
peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter. That's fucking candy man for black people, son. He said, if Tiger Woods wins another master, I swear to God, he might be the greatest I've ever seen before.
Alex got some southern accent I've never heard of in my life.
Wow.
I'm like, is that Chico
crazy.
Bean, bro? Like, where did that accent come from, dog?
You got it.
Tiger Woods getting another master. There's mad consonants you just forgot. Just
Alex, he wins another master.
What if that was like the rebranding of the tournament? Like,
If Tiger wins another master,
Masters.
we're going to be able to stay out late tonight.
We need to go to the big house.
If Tiger wins one more master, apparently it's only 4 barrels of cotton we have to pick.
the masses.
Oh
Golly.
my God.
Oh, God.
Did he give you a brown jacket?
Say what?
Some burnt sienna? Maybe.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So, and then number 5. We need number 5. Greatest
Kobe.
black man in history.
Kobe?
Kobe.
Russell Wilson.
Oh, Magic
Russell
Johnson.
Wilson. Oh, Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
Magic Johnson.
All
bro.
right. Boom. All right,
Son, a black man invented peanut butter and the cure for AIDS.
Yep.
Right? A black man finally found a way to make a white woman turn into a black woman. That's Tiger Woods.
A black man
Son,
got on and left his white woman
when you
for
heard
a black woman.
when you heard that a woman chased down her boyfriend and beat him with a golf club, there was a little party like, Tiger dating black women again?
First of all,
That's not a white woman activity.
Nah.
A white woman drown your kid, but she's not gonna chase down a car with a fucking golf
also,
club.
the bitch chased down a navigator.
You gotta be fast.
You know what I mean?
Bro,
That's not Nordic speed.
those are some.
That's North
Those are
Carolina.
hell of strides she was putting out.
That's Nolan's.
Damn.
That's Nolan speed. Okay, then number 5.
Number 5. I said it. Snoop Dogg and Russell Wilson. They're
No,
battle of
Magic.
Magic.
Okay, so we have George Washington Carver.
Okay.
Number 2 is,
Ray
you
J.
said it, OJ. George Washington Carter, OJ. Abraham Lincoln.
We gotta get Abe out of there.
Abraham Lincoln.
We gotta get
Abe
Abe
not
out of there.
black,
We don't
bro.
want a retard as
Abe's the first ally, B. I mean, he's the first.
Why'd you call him a retard?
What?
dwarfism or whatever the fuck he has. That's
He's
retarded.
huge. What are you talking about, George?
He's like 6'6". You
I thought you said he was retarded because he freed the slaves.
No. I consider.
He took away our masses. What are we going to do now?
Like the Andre the
Yo, son,
Giant.
Alex, what's happening?
I know.
Alex, what's going on?
The Andre the Giant people with that disease.
Gigantism.
That
Abraham
thing.
Lincoln.
Gigantism.
Yes, he did. He did have a version of
No,
that.
he didn't have
Abraham
he
Lincoln was
tall.
6'6", bro.
Son, he had a version of that.
He
No.
wore the top hat. He wasn't even that tall. He was like 6'2" without the top hat.
He had a version of
Look
that.
it up.
Flagrant
Reliable
fact.
website.
At the
That's his flagrant
fact.
thought. Fuck out of
Nah.
here. All right, let's go. What else?
Oprah ain't shit.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so are we on your Oprah ain't shit?
Oprah ain't shit.
All right,
Okay.
go. That's your
Hey,
flagrant thought of the
what
week.
they say, you judge a tree by the fruit it bears, right? What the fuck good fruit? All jokes aside,
Yep.
Oprah giving us. Dr. Oz, from what I understand, he ain't talking about shit. He a little scammy. Dr. Phil, annoying. No real talent, not a therapist at all. The doctor that killed Kanye mama. That's an Oprah wreck.
Oh, wow.
Dr. Conrad motherfucking whatever killed MJ. That's an Oprah wreck. I'm just saying at a certain point, you guys start looking at this lady like, what the fuck are you really giving us?
Oprah really just tried to get Michael Jackson out of here too with that HBO documentary too.
Oprah produced the fucking. This bitch gotta go. How fucking dare you?
Holy shit, son. Oprah killed Emily. Yo,
Oh, just because you boring, you gotta get out Thriller? Just because there ain't no suspense in your
killed
show.
Fucking MJ, son. Dude, Oprah's like white Hillary Clinton.
Yo,
She got bodies, bro.
I didn't think I had a case when I started.
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
knew in my gut I didn't like this bitch. And I'll tell you now, it's facts.
It's starting to
Listen.
he
But
built
what
it
about the
again.
school she made in Africa?
he make
Everybody be making schools. LeBron got a school. Big fucking deal.
LeBron made a pretty cool school. It's a great school.
LeBron got a school in Ohio. This bitch paid $1,000 to get a school made in Africa. That's cheap as fuck making a school in Africa. You know what the exchange rate is? On whatever the fuck currency they use? Fucking buffalo hides or whatever.
Oh man.
What kind of zebra skin y'all take for currency, huh? That shit is dumb cheap, this bitch.
You make a compelling case, I must say.
Okay.
I don't agree with you, but I'll defend your right to say it.
So Oprah's
Keep
out of
stepping
here.
in a fucking cage. She fucking Gail, won't tell nobody. Be proud of who you are, Oprah. It's 2019. We got transes now. Why are you so ashamed to be a little gay?
Do you think she's gay?
I don't know, probably. What's that Gail shit about?
I mean, they BFFs, right?
You can't have friends?
Road dogs.
You don't think they don't think they got friends?
I just don't ever see her and Stedman seem to be together.
Stedman, the greatest side piece?
Yeah, he's kind of a side piece.
Yeah,
I mean, I like I like the flagrancy.
It's a good life.
She had a good show. Apparently,
good.
I never watched it. Did you watch it?
No.
She gave away a bunch of cars and shit.
Yo, she really did bribe people into watching
That's
that
what I'm
shit.
saying, yo.
I
You're just
it
giving
the
people
good-
cars.
I forgot who Chris Rock said. I think it was the kid to keep the tax man off her ass. That's why she kept giving his shit away.
Oh.
He's like, these motherfuckers after me. Damn. I don't. You make a compelling case.
What good fruit has this tree given us? Mouse said this about Charlamagne. Look at the fruit that Charlamagne he gave us. He helped out Andrew. He helped out Kaz. Andrew helped out me. Andrew helped out Alex. What is Oprah? Where's her tree? Where's the Oprah tree of success?
Catch me outside.
That was Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Well, that's Dr.
Yeah,
Phil.
yeah. But that guy got no real. He's not really helping nobody. He's not a real doctor.
I mean,
Dr. Conrad Murray.
Dude in Atlanta. Medea dude.
Tyler Perry.
That's good.
Wait,
That-
Oprah gave us Medea?
It was bad at first, but then it
Yeah, Tyler Perry
I've been Team
clearly
Tyler
won
since
me
the
over.
beginning. I'm Team Titty Perry. Don't get me twisted. Don't get that shit twisted. I'm
Yeah.
Titty Perry for life.
That's what I'm saying. That's a good contribution.
That's Oprah?
Yeah.
Why is
I
that
mean,
Oprah?
I think she like helped.
she helped
him-
get Obama in
yeah,
office.
help him start his platform, like to keep it all.
She be helping. Everybody say she helping. Did he bring on the show? I'm talking about people she brought on the show. Who's the fat cook bitch? Rachel
Rachel
Ray.
Ray.
Big fucking deal, yo. She don't slap like Martha Stewart. Meal slaps.
Dude, Martha Stewart.
I got some,
make- you
some
make
great
a case.
Rachel
You
Ray
make a case. You make a
cookware
case.
at home, though.
Okay, this is actually really
This is
fun.
great.
Okay, top 5 whites in American history.
Top 5 whites
in American history.
Tiger Woods.
Living or dead?
Living whites. Top 5
Top 5 living whites.
Yeah.
OJ.
Okay. Number 5, Adam Silver. Adam Silver,
Oh,
top 5.
God, no.
He's a top 5 white guy?
No.
How
fuck
is he
Adam
not a top
Silver,
5
yo.
white guy?
That
Not
China
even
shit. I'd have put him up
close.
before 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks? Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. All right.
Before this
Fuck
China
Adam
shit.
Silver.
He had a case.
Okay.
Justin Bieber.
Oh, Beebs, yo. Beebs.
The Biebs, son.
There it is. Hey. Top 5 white guys. Jimmy Iovine. I'll put Jimmy Iovine in there. Top 5 white dudes.
Jimmy Iovine, all right. Scooter
All right.
Braun.
Cool guy. Fuck with him. Hey. Sexy, can I hit it from the front and hit it from the back and you like it like that? Jams, man. Come on, man. The GOAT. Ray J his flowers, man. Oh, what a legend. Vince Staples never told a lie in his life, bro.
What did he say?
Oh, he has a legendary rant on Hot 97 when he was with Tyler, the Creator. And Tyler was like, yo, tell him why Ray J is the greatest living human. And Alex, can you pull it up if you
Let me
can?
tell you something
but we
about
can't
Vince
play it.
Staples,
We
man.
can't.
This guy is hilarious. And I
man.
never hear a song of his.
No, me neither.
Yeah, he has a future in.
He's got the gift of gab, bro.
media.
Like, he's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Even though his shows, like he as a
I
touring
like his
act.
albums. Like
And his tour is crazy.
Yeah. Like
He's one of those silent SoundCloud guys who tours fucking crazy.
that's
Vince Staples not one of those guys that like
Even
I
though
can
he's
play
on
a
a
song
major,
for
yeah.
you and you're like, oh man, I gotta hear everything. Like you gotta hear everything in like in a vacuum, like from beginning to end. 'Cause if you just play one song, it's like I don't get it.
Yeah.
Most of the shit.
He like
is
The
always
Wire.
good.
You just got to watch the whole
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. Like if you just see a random episode of The Wire,
I
it's
can't
like,
wait till he gets a podcast because that shit is gonna blow.
Bro, I tried to pitch him a podcast years ago.
Let's get him off Flagrant.
Nah, but I heard him saying like he wants $1 million to sign.
Yeah.
Off rip.
That's basically what it was, and
like,
I,
like
and
a
I get
signing bonus.
I get
to
it.
do a podcast.
Tell him to be a guest on this shit.
I totally get it, bro. I would have
Would be
got him.
dope.
But he knows his worth, man.
You have his link.
A while ago, yeah. He did when I was running Stash. He did a couple interviews with us, and it was fucking hilarious. Did some pretty good numbers. But okay, top 5 white guys. Boom. Bill Clinton, number 4.
Ooh, okay.
Bill Clinton's in there.
Damn.
Prolific raper.
But
Prolific. I just immediately agreed, and then I called myself. I was like, "Oh man, that's not it."
Yo, can we talk about something here? Let's say, hypothetically speaking, he did rape all those women that accuse him, right?
Little kids too.
Let's
maybe.
let's just say the women. Let's not say the
Okay.
kids, so it can be.
yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah, walk on that line.
So, let's say hypothetically he did. Do you know how fucking arrogant you gotta be?
I did not.
No.
Oh,
To
I
like
know.
rape 3 women and then be like, I think I could be president.
That's crazy.
Yo,
That's so
son,
crazy.
This is next level confidence.
That's
It's
so
like,
fucking
what
crazy.
the fuck?
Look at our current president.
That's where we got the playbook
That's
from.
probably where
bro.
he got it from.
Yo,
He
but
probably knew all
low
the
key,
dirt.
I
He
don't
was
think
like-
I don't think Trump raped anybody.
He definitely grabbed a few titties.
You've been a Dussepalooza. You know what I
Hey,
mean? Like,
no. We do
Come on,
not.
son.
That does not
Come
happen.
on, son.
No.
I'm
That
just
does
saying,
not
like,
happen at
the reason I don't
Dussepalooza.
think I don't think Trump raped is because he's so egregious about the other shit.
What do
Like,
you mean?
he's so
He's smart. He knows what not to say.
nah, but he's out here like slapping girls' butts and shit like that. She's fine. This girl's a pig. Like, you don't talk like that if you also rape. Like
Sure you
Cosby was out there, Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
think
Rape
both
is
are
a
possible.
different type of rape, though. His rape is.
Here we go. Defend Cosby.
I'm not defending Cosby at all. I'm
No,
saying
no,
like
no. Black people
his
don't
rape
like
is
Cosby.
way fucking worse because he's the fucking slip something in your drink, put you over your
Yo,
shoulder.
guys, this is not Patreon. I just wanted to remind you in case
Yo,
you
we
guys
should
forgot.
table some of this.
In case you guys forgot.
Let's table some of this. Let's table some of this. This is about to go somewhere. that
Hey,
it
leave
probably
my
shouldn't
Oprah
go.
shit in though.
Leave that Oprah in. We got 2 white guys on my top 5.
All right.
Michael McDonald, number 3.
Are we still doing the top 5 whites?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Keep forgetting. Keep forgetting.
You put them top 5 because of one track. One track where he sounds like a
bro.
black guy.
Because for 20 years of my life, I thought he was black.
Yeah.
I thought he was black my whole life. So I was like, so Mike McDonald's white.
I don't know who he is. To be
White
honest.
media
I know who
Michael
he is.
McDonald.
I know who he is. I don't know any of his songs.
You
All
know
right.
this song.
We just doing top 3 whites. Alex, flagrant thought of the week. Go.
Well, I was fleshing that one out, but whatever. I'll throw it out there. So, dating someone on a temporary visa is like going to the strip club. Because when you go to the strip club, you can be like the wackest dude, but you have some badass bitch who's like catering to you and making you feel wanted and all that type of shit.
Because she wants something out of you.
Because she wants something out of you.
That's what you get out of a refugee bitch.
Yeah. So like a girl
No,
with
this temporary visa. It's not even a refugee.
temporary visa. It's
Meaning
like
she got to go back home.
she's on the clock.
Yeah.
Oh, she
So
gotta
it
get that
goes
ring.
from hello to like, yo, let's move in together. Like week 2.
Yeah. So, yeah.
She want to be saved.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying Alex is kind of like dating a girl with terminal cancer.
Wow.
Because thinking about because like her visa is for 3 months, right? Right? Like that's what you got. So you're dead. unless there's a magical cure.
Yo, she out here praying for a miracle.
You're playing for a miracle. You know what I mean? But like literally, you can act however you want in that. Like, what, you gonna break up with me for the next month?
War.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what I used to love those relationships that I knew were coming in because I didn't have to break up. This is the best thing about like when I lived in Spain.
That makes sense.
I got that shit. Like the world does it for you.
That makes sense.
And you approach that date and they start saying like, well, maybe we should continue this, and you'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
And back in the day, there was no FaceTime, nothing. It was like you had to hit the same button 3 times to get to the K. You know what I mean? So you weren't even texting that much.
Yeah.
So it was just like when they were gone, you're gone.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't even have to ghost. Like the government did it for you.
Government did it for
Yeah.
you, bro. Fucking pager. Remember pagers?
Pagers.
Ugh.
What a
They
dumb
don't know.
form
They
of
wasn't
technology.
outside. They don't know them days.
Yeah.
We had to go find fucking public phones that crackheads just peed on.
Kaz looks so
People.
African to me right now. I can't explain
Really?
it. I think it's the posture. You sitting up a
Is
little
it?
straighter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
you
you looking mad Nigerian right
I
now to
don't
me.
know. I ran into somebody at God. I was in Macy's the other day. I ran to I was buying a jacket, and somebody was like, he was working there. I was like, yo, do you know where the fucking jackets are? He's like, yeah. He's like, wait, you're the guy in the Andrew Schulz podcast, right? Like you sit in the back. I'm like, fuck. All right, I gotta start sitting up. I start sitting with better posture, so motherfuckers. And I watched like some of the tapes. I'm always kind of lean back. So that explains the.
Guys,
Sorry, guys.
don't worry about it. Listen, that was a
Get
little
to
bit
it.
of flagrancy. We need to get. We have some very important things to discuss. I got a couple takes that I want to share with you. I went out, Akaash, and I went to some kind of alternative venue comedy shows
Ooh,
on Friday and Saturday. Bombed my ass off.
that's what's up.
So, but
So
I
you
like
know you're doing it
to.
right
I like to just. I like to talk about the state of comedy
Right.
in that regard. Also,
Alex's flagrant
breaking
take
news,
was
breaking news, breaking
confirmed.
news, breaking news, breaking news,
What
breaking
happened?
news. Zion Williamson out 6 to 8 weeks.
with
Fucked up knee.
they're not taking any chances. That's all that is.
Motherfucker too fat.
Yeah,
He gotta lose weight,
He got to lose
bro.
weight, dude. He does
He gotta
not
lose
look
weight.
good. Yeah,
It's Derrick Rose, man. Like
That's a lot of, and to be that explosive, that's a lot of weight on your knees and a lot of impact on your knees.
He jumps a fucking lot,
Yeah.
bro. Like
Yeah.
that's all. Like when I see him, I think of Derrick Rose because like prime Derrick Rose, the way he fucking was so herky jerky, and like he was like too athletic for his body. When it's like, yo, your body's not supposed to move like that. Like,
Right.
The way you land and all that type of shit. This is 3 knee injuries in a year. That's not 19
No bueno.
years old.
that's not. They're not taking any chances.
not
But
good.
19, you're gonna come back quick. But look, before we go into this next stuff, I just want to throw out some dates, man. Palm Beach Improv this Saturday. First show sold out. We added a second show. Get those tickets now. Get them early. Then we got the West Coast next week. Going to be Chico, California, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, Sacramento. I think there might be a couple tickets left for the late show on the 3rd. Then we're coming back to the East Coast. We got the 14th, Connecticut, Wall Street Theater. Then we got the 16th, Boston, the Wilbur Theater. First show sold out. More tickets left for the second show. And then the 22nd, New York City.
Yup.
Town Hall, 2 shows. First one sold out. Second one almost. So get theirs. I don't want to hear any bitching. We're not adding no more shows. That's it. This is your chance for the Matador Tour. New York is happening one time in New York. You come get those real quick. And then we added more shows. TheAndrewSchultz.com. Go get them shits. Akaash, what you got?
Yo, the rest of the dates for this year for the Big Desi Energy Tour. First of all, shouts to, I forgot to shout out EJ Watson in Detroit. He's the one that got me up there. It was his birthday. Kid is a comic. He's about the flagrancy. I'm supposed to shout out his podcast, but I forgot the name, so I'll do that next week. But dates that are coming up, San Diego, November 7th through the 9th at the American Comedy Club. Then the next day, I'm in Tempe, Arizona at the Improv, November 10th. Then November 14th, I'm at the Hartford Funny Bone in Connecticut. And then December 19th, 20th, and 21st, Big Desi Energy Homecoming, I'm going to Mumbai.
Oh,
Killing, bro.
We out there. Let's
What
go.
are you doing out there?
Habitat Comedy Club. Friend of ours who's setting us up. We're gonna do this shit.
How'd
Me
you
and my-
organize that? How'd that
So
come
I
about?
went I went in March and we did some shows there, me and the Brownish guys. And then Dushar and I are going back, and so we got in contact with the club. Last time the shows went well. YouTube is going well, so they said come through headline. Tushar's going to feature, and he's going to replace Danish because Danish Pakistani ass ain't allowed in the country. So
Pakistanis aren't allowed in it.
no, straight up, he can't come.
God damn.
He ain't allowed. It's not even like I won't let him. It's like India's like nah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa! Just because he's of Pakistani heritage or whatever.
Yeah,
like
like that's his
Just when you think
nationality.
shit
Well,
ain't
do they
sweet in
really get
America.
upset that if we call them Pakis or whatever, Pakis?
I assume it's contextual. Because in England, that's used in like that's their slur. These
Yeah,
fucking
but it's
Pakis.
just I don't understand it. Like it's the same shit as tranny, right? It's like
Well, that's what I'm saying. I assume it's contextual. It's like these fucking Pakis. It's like all right.
It's
well,
the
now
fucking-
same.
that's the
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah.
like if you're like I love Paki food, man. Paki food is the
I don't
best.
think that. I don't think that
But do they take it contextually or do they get upset?
depends probably who you're talking to.
Whatever. Anyway, Cass.
Yes, sir. Let me pull this up. November 2nd, 2019, Atlanta Dussepalooza is coming through the Masquerade. Oh, man, I
Shit,
can't wait
you got
to
a whole
announce them
gay
fucking
Dussepalooza. That's what's
Yes, sir. It's lit. Dussepalooza's for everybody, baby. Bring all your gays over here. I fucking love it. Also,
some Duce into those dudes' mouths. I need to see that one right there.
Hey, no.
That's gonna be serious.
I shall not be doing that. November 8th,
You wouldn't shoot it
2019.
into a guy's mouth?
I give it to a girl and do it. Like if she like Ray does that. Like shout out to Ray VB. She's like, let me shoot somebody. I'll give her the gun. Like
Oh, she'll shoot the dudes.
Yeah.
You would never shoot the dude.
Nah,
Why not?
it's not that type of party.
Son, it's Atlanta. It's that type of party.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Los Angeles, November 8th, 2019, we're taking over the Palladium, Dussepalooza again. And don't forget, December 13th, 2019, we're making history in Brooklyn, New York. Can't wait to announce that. Also, this week, I'm debuting a brand new show called Big Apple Buckets with the New York Post. I'll be doing a New York Knicks-centered podcast with the guys at the New York Post. Straight Knicks talk all day for 30 minutes. The first guest, Walt Clyde Frazier, two-time NBA champion, and Mark Berman of the Post, the Knicks beat writer. I know you guys. I'm a huge Knicks fan. This means a whole lot to me. So once the link is out there, please support it. Please share it. Whatever you got to do.
I cannot think of a more depressing podcast.
Well, listen, I'm gonna keep it 100 though.
This
I'm
year
gonna keep it 100 though.
specifically.
That's what's gonna make it so much fun because it's like
You're
I don't
not
gotta-
gonna keep it 100 because you already delusional about the Knicks.
Exactly.
So you're keeping it 100 and
Exactly.
still everybody else is. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
No,
right now?
bro, it's preseason. You're allowed to be delusional up until like tomorrow. Like
I'm
you have
teasing
up
I'm
until
teasing.
tip-off.
I'm
That's
teasing.
it.
Obviously, we're gonna support, man.
Yes, sir. Gang,
so
gang.
check that shit out.
And support all this shit, man. Kaz and Effect, fucking, Dussepalooza, fucking everything, man. Everything. Good things are happening for the gang all around.
Yes,
so
sir.
Support,
We doing it. We
support.
doing it.
Okay, so I went out to these shows. There are some cool shows. My girl Fawn runs a show. It's like a secret show. It's quite interesting. I couldn't believe anybody showed up, but they just email you that day and let you know where the show's going to be.
Oh, that's dope.
They don't even tell you the lineup. I think they're just like, show up and it's going to be a show. It's called Don't Tell Comedy. And this one was on like the 50th floor of some building.
Yeah, it was
You were there?
I know Rockefeller Center.
It was like basically Rockefeller Center. It was like on like 50th floor. And son, it felt like Spider-Man. It was on the roof. There you could go outside and there were all the buildings around. You know, like you see Spider-Man shooting at things and then like flying. But like
Yeah.
it's very rare that in your life are you on a balcony that high where you would Spider-Man.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because when are you ever outside on the 30th floor?
Yeah.
And when you are around other buildings that are higher than that by many stories? It's hard to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words,
Yeah.
right? But like it was cool. I went up. I did the set, and all right, I fucked around, but I did a few jokes. But it was interesting. I felt like a little, pullback from the audience, and it was one of these things where it's like, it was one of these things where it's like, oh, it's interesting. There are certain things they're just not allowing themselves to laugh at, and then I was like, maybe it's just this show. It is what it is. And then Saturday we went to another show, hosted by Ronnie Lord. It's in this barbershop. It's a great idea.
I don't know, Ronnie.
And it's called Barbershop Comedy Show or something like that. It's really cool. They actually like convert this barbershop into a show. I mean, it's just a great idea. It's super intimate. It's on like 2nd Street in East Village. And bombed my ass off again in that one. And
Wait, you say a little pullback in the first one. Was it a bomb? Was it an L? Or was it like, it was
I
quiet?
like how you called it a little pullback. audible groans.
So
There's a lady in the back like,
so here's the thing. Anything if I'm not killing, I consider a bomb.
Right.
Right? So like it's I'm never like, oh, that was okay.
Okay.
It's either kill or bomb.
Right.
So but when I can look at a crowd and I can be like, these people acknowledge that these jokes are funny.
Right.
I don't need a crowd to tell me the jokes are funny. I know the jokes are funny.
Yeah.
facts.
Right now, it's about whether they'll allow themselves to laugh at an idea.
Right.
And I went in, I'd been doing the clubs and I'd be doing our live shows and tour. So like, I really thought that we won the war on comedy. I thought it was done. Like I mean, even went on Rogan, I was like, no, it's over. Like we beat them. People want real comedy now. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't do the alternative rooms. And this was the first time in a while where I was like, oh shit, there are people that refuse to laugh unless the jokes are politically aligned with their beliefs.
Yeah.
Regardless of how funny the jokes are. And I did a little experiment when I was at the barbershop show. Like I really leaned into, like the stuff I do is always goes against whatever we're supposed to think, right? Like that's the fun for me in comedy. It's making shit funny is easy for me. The challenge is making the shit funny that
That's
you're not supposed to.
funny.
Right. That's the exciting thing. That's the stakes are high. That is like, let's try to do this at the highest level, you know? So it's like, I did a bunch of jokes. I don't want to give them away because I'm doing part of the tour, but I did a bunch of jokes that were not at all like liberally politically aligned, like making the opposite argument, fucked up shit. And then I have one, this part of a bit, I don't want to give it away, but that does align politically with their beliefs. I was like, I'm going to give this one to them right now and see how they react. Applause break. Laughing, support. And I'm like, you're not clapping because of how funny this joke is, even though it's a funny joke. You're clapping because you agree with the joke.
Yeah.
And then I did another joke that has two different things in it, where one group, a minority group, is made fun of at first, and then later whites are made fun of.
Right.
When I'm making fun of the minority, they couldn't laugh. The second the joke transgresses white people, immediately laughing. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, I thought we were past this. I thought we had beaten this down. I thought these people didn't exist because I've been in the comedy clubs and I've been on tour. But there are still people that refuse to laugh unless it goes along with their political
Well,
beliefs.
you gotta remember, you've created like this kind of like, not a bubble, but you've created this, you've been instrumental in creating this space where you don't need to appease those people.
No, 100%, right? But it's one of those things where like it came back and two things happened. I also thought everybody was starting to do this type of comedy now, right?
Nope.
And in that moment, I started to realize, oh shit, this is why I have this like appreciation from people. I never really got that. You know, like people hit me up from YouTube or Instagram and be like, yo, thank you for doing what you're doing. I'm like, bro, I'm just having fun doing comedy. This is the type of comedy I love. But they see that.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, I miss the old Now, I'm not knocking any of the comics that were on the show because I didn't see them go on the show, right? They could have been doing the exact same shit as me. I can't say. And I love the fact that they're doing these different shows. I went there specifically for dropping in, so I could give them some exposure. I feel like I want to help out New York comedy scene, and there should be different venues for all different types of comedy. Like I want to help out as much as I can. But I did have a concern, and Akaash, we had discussed this before, and the concern is there are all these young comics that are coming up in this scene, and how can you develop an authentic voice when your audience is fraudulent?
That's bars.
I don't think you truly can. Like, you and I did comedy in a basement to tourists in a dungeon, right? That we did not care about what those tourists
Industry
thought.
would specifically avoid that
it.
place.
But here's the thing: we didn't care what the tourists thought, so it'd be cool if we bombed. But also, they were tourists; they didn't have to see anybody else again. They didn't have a social cost to laughing at a joke.
Oh, right.
Right? They were going back to fucking Ohio or Sweden or wherever they're from. Right? So they could laugh at a little more fucked up shit because they're like, I don't care if these people judge me.
Yeah.
But these people that are going to these shows, that's maybe part of the neighborhood. They're going to see. And then you look at somebody like, yo, did you laugh at that abortion joke? What the hell is wrong with this guy?
Look at him laughing.
Right? So it is a concern of mine for comedy moving forward because at the end of the day, we're not going to keep doing comedy if we're bombing. At the end of the day, we want to get laughs. We're comics. We are insecure. We want to be validated by our audience. But so we will gravitate towards what works. It takes a strong constitution to stick to your guns when you're not doing well, right? And I fear that if there are comics that are going up in front of too many audiences that are only laughing at shit they're politically aligned with, that they'll start doing jokes that will end up getting those laughs, and they won't develop an authentic comedic voice unless that is their comedic voice. And it's like, it makes me a little concerned for comedy as it moves forward.
I'm not trying to dismiss what you're saying. I know I can sound dismissive sometimes. My fiance tells me this shit all the time. But I'll say two things. Number one, I don't think you ever stamp out this kind of comedy. It's not like it's a thing that goes... Like, in the same way that we talk about how entertainment is so fragmented now, and like everybody just kind of has their group and their audience, that's what comedy's going to become. There's going to be this group of people that goes to that thing, and this group of people that goes for the flagrancy, and this group of people that wants PC. And here's the other thing I would say. If you aren't... The cream will always rise to the top.
Yes. I guess what it's important to note, though, this isn't the same as it's not like basketball courts where you just get to decide where you play.
Fair.
And if you want to have like a soft game, you go to the YMCA. You want to have a tough game, you play outside in, Canarsie.
I know when I was coming up, we kind of romanticized these stories, though, about like Bill Burr, who would go do the hood rooms and bomb for a long time before he finally figured it out. You hear about these guys.
Right.
I've talked openly about how I bombed. When we first met, I was bombing for a good year and a half straight.
Right.
Constant L's.
Right.
The ones who want to be great are like, all right, well, that's the cost. That's fine. I want that shit. I want that top tier shit. Right. So I'll eat that cost.
Right. But there is a difference because you didn't really have that experience. You got to come in and you got to perform in, the Lantern and these types of venues, right, to balance out the shitty ones. What I'm saying is there people that on the come up of comedy, you can't just walk into the Comedy Cellar or New York Comedy Club and go, I'd like to go on. You have to perform at these other things first. And in order to get from there to the clubs, you have to succeed at there. Before you could get past the clubs, you had to be able to do well at the Lantern, which was nice because we created our type of comedy there. But you also had to do well in these other rooms.
Yeah, I still think. I mean, I would bomb at the Lantern when I first got there for a month.
Sure, we all did. I'm not saying you did.
Me of, though? Like,
my point is like this is a necessary step in like getting your footing in a New York comedy scene. And if you're just like it's always been like Knitting Factory was for a lot of new comics, they'd come and they do Knitting Factory and they do well at Knitting Factory, and then they'd get these other different places, right? Doing well in rooms gets you more rooms.
Yeah.
If you choose to bomb, to stick to your comedic laurels, you're not going to get booked on the other shit. And if you don't get booked on the other shit, it's going to take way longer to get to the clubs where you can actually do your shit. So there's this weird catch-22. It's like, okay, should I do the stuff that's not really authentic to me so I can get to the other stuff so I can eventually do me? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do think sounds weird, but your perception is a bit skewed because you got funny really fucking fast. So you were also always able to do the flagrant shit and get laughs. And then there were audiences even back then where they were like, whatever. I'm not going to name clubs. But I remember you telling me one show, you're like, there was like the hot club, the hot little room. And you were like, I just bombed my ass off.
Right.
Because that was that group of people. That group of people existed then just like it exists now. It might be a little more pervasive now, but not as much as you think, I don't think. We caught it on the come up. Now it's, I think, on the come down.
And I would like to just point in. So you're saying that you can't find your authentic voice in rooms like that, and I would actually say the opposite. So
that's
like the PC people will find their authentic voice because they're going to perform well in front of there, and then when they go to a room that's wants like more gritty comedy, they're not going to perform well. It's like, and now you get to learn a good crowd from a bad crowd because you know how you can go in and assess the crowd, and like you can even pick apart the crowd and see like, oh yeah, they feel uncomfortable to laugh at this shit. So it's like that makes you a better comic because now it's like, oh, I see the difference in terms of the people I perform in.
Right.
I'm still performing my same comedy in front of both different groups, and I know what works to my group. So you can still find your voice in front of those crowds, even if you do bad.
No.
No?
No.
Yeah, I don't necessarily.
No, you can't. You can't because you can only find your voice in front of them if your voice is consistent with them. Because no comic, I don't care how good they are, and again, we do romanticize those things, but no comic, I don't care how good they are, will tell the same jokes for a year and continue bombing with them.
Yeah, but you're saying they only go to that room. Remember, they're trying to get on stage everywhere, so they're doing different rooms.
Right. So my assumption is that there are a lot of rooms that are filled with those types of audience.
Yeah, you don't think there's going to be any diversity? Like, there's not going to be any rooms that have
those rooms
your
tend
audience?
to use a term I used earlier, stamp out. Like if you're a super woke crowd, it takes a lot of confidence to be the audience member laughing at a horrible joke in a super woke crowd.
No, I get that, but I mean, you don't think there are any rooms that don't have woke crowds?
There's not as many rooms.
They're different
the
scenes.
alternative rooms,
Like for example, like Akaash and I were saying, we would go to the black rooms.
Yeah.
Never did I feel like I couldn't tell a certain type of joke in those rooms. Right? I felt like I could be as flagrant as I wanted. When I would go to the woke rooms, or what we would call like the alt rooms, the hipster rooms, I would have to be. Well, I mean, I wouldn't change what I did, but I would go in there with the idea like they're not gonna get on board with this. This joke is critical of women. This joke is critical of a minority group. They won't feel comfortable doing it. Now, if I was being critical of myself or like white people in general, yes, they would. And I feel like most comics have a desire to be validated, and that will overrule their desire to do an authentic bit. Okay. That's my concern.
I got you.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I 100% feel your concern.
There's different levels of this, Akaash.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I'm not saying this is the end all be all. There will be no more comedy.
No.
But I feel like young comics coming up, I would really implore them, go to an open mic in Long Island.
Yeah,
like
try a lot of
go to places where if you are flagrant, go to places where the flagrancy can go out to Staten Island where you know they're not going to be upset about some joke. You know, if you stay in there, if you are one of the flagrancy, you know, like, because if you stay in that scene, that need for validation that we all have in us is gonna come over you. You know, like maybe I'm a sociopath. Maybe
he beat me too.
and that's fair. But that's not going to be everybody. Like, I don't mind having that. Like, I also will be in front of those crowds and I'll like look at them and I'll be, if I could tell that you are trying to not laugh.
Ooh, you target them.
Yeah.
Then
you got it. You got to shame them.
Yeah.
Oh, not even shame. Like I if I could tell you're trying to not laugh, I'm like, oh, that's good.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like. Because I'm not going to these rooms.
There's a lot of effort into not
I'll call that out. I'll be like
laughing is easy. Trying not to laugh is fucking hard. So
that's a good perspective. Because I'll be like, you realize you're just hurting yourself, right? Like I'll talk to them. But I think what I would do back then, and I still probably do it, is I would think, okay, I don't want to sacrifice my idea. How do I get other audiences to laugh at this idea, make it palatable? We used to always use that term, make it palatable, make it palatable. That's the most I would do. At a certain point, this shit is art. If you're an artist about your type of comedy, it's like, okay, I will not sacrifice this at a certain point.
I agree with you completely, and I think that what we would do is, and we would always talk about is make it silly. The point, the premise can be serious, but punch it silly. And there was a time, I think, where we came up where the premises might have been a little tough.
Yeah.
You know, like, but if you, as long as you made the punchy part silly, it was okay. And I think the growth of PC culture, it has kind of invaded the space of silly even.
Well, actually, you said that to me recently, and that shifted. That was like a big shift for me. Is like, oh, fuck, silly. That's a fun way to make it palatable without trying to fuck with your message or whatever you're trying to say. That was actually a big thing that recently I was like, oh, shit, silly. You just find your version of silly.
Anytime I'm not, the joke isn't going over, it's like, oh, it's not silly.
Yeah.
It's not silly enough.
Yeah.
And once it's silly, you find a way to like get there. You know what I mean? But it just, it was so fascinating to watch adults fight for like an idea in a place of comedy. It was just so odd.
It's also so funny to see them be offended in the most expensive cities in the world.
Oh, dude. And like so easy to like trigger. Like I would do this back in the day because there was a joke of mine that I had. Some of you guys might be familiar, but about the Mexicans stealing the jobs.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you steal a job? I never seen a Mexican walk into a restaurant and go, give me the dishes, right?
Yeah.
And like that was the joke I would do to test an audience that I was bombing in front of. So if I was bombing and then I did that joke and they laughed, I would go, oh, you just want jokes you agree with.
Okay.
Because to me, it was a good joke, but it was also like a liberal leaning perspective.
100%.
And it's just fascinating to me that people could go out for a night of agreeing. Right? Like, isn't that odd?
I mean, I guess it's just safe. It's safe to not laugh at that shit, man. And to be honest, we're at a time where it is not that easy to just go out and just have a good time without being offended by something. You know what I'm saying? So
It's just a lack of self-awareness that New York is this worldly city and the whole world is in New York. No, the richest people in the whole world are in New York.
yeah.
Like the richest Indians or Nigerians or whatever, the smartest, most successful ones are in New York. This is not a global place. This is a global elite city.
It's true.
It's not a global city.
It's very true. Very true.
Oh man, I want to say something, but I think I'm gonna turn it into a bit. But it's that's a great way of we're fucking spoiled, dude. Yeah. And there's I
always wonder, like, if I wasn't born here, how different life would be.
Different.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wasn't born, like, Akaash, I know you weren't born here, but Andrew, you were. Yeah. Alex, you were born here as well. Yeah. It's like I'm just spoiled by just seeing everybody.
Bro, we're so wildly spoiled.
Yeah.
It's not even funny, dude.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I don't want to ruin this because I want to do it as part of this bit. But like, we are so. Whatever. Let's move on because
let's move on.
I'm gonna want to do it. But yeah. It was just an interesting thing. And then the other observation that I made was, I think that we are living in the easiest time in history to have a successful restaurant.
Really? I feel like those are easy money losers.
I have a theory. Yes, I have a theory. This is the thing about restaurants. This is what I realized. Is quality food is still the rarest thing in the world. And it is so rare that if you have it, we will find it. And that's why celeb endorsed restaurants never work. Like Michael Jordan Steakhouse. Like, I don't give a fuck if Michael Jordan is the steak good.
Yeah.
Like, I'll wear the sneakers that Kobe wears. Yeah. Because they're the same as all the other sneakers, really.
Right.
I just like Kobe.
And it's Kobe endorsing the shit he's good at.
Boom.
Fuck does Michael Jordan know about steak?
The fuck do you know about steak? Literally, what could you possibly...
That's like my favorite Kanye West clip of all time.
Oh, yeah. What does Lady Gaga know about?
It's like, I love the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she know about Cameron?
Yeah. So it's like, I'm sitting down and I'm thinking about this fucking restaurant shit, and I'm like, but now if your food is actually good, which is hard, now we have all these other means of communication to spread word of mouth.
Yelp.
Right? Yelp.
Google reviews.
All that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And now that we
even
have
Yelp is a little skewed because like you got to be a certain type of person.
And
like,
there's shit on top of that. There's all these like blogs and everybody that's got to churn out content. If you have a restaurant that's remotely hot or a piece of food that's remotely hot, people are lining up at all. They'll write about it and then the line triples.
So now check this, right? Like you said, piece of food that's remotely hot.
Cronut.
Yeah, make it Instagram.
Back it up from Cronut, right? I thought about what I would do if I was like big farm America, like, these big farming conglomerates, right? I go to one of these, or a group of these elite chefs, the ones that have a bunch of restaurants, and I go, fam, make a dish with Brussels sprouts. Because when we were growing up, Brussels sprouts were trash, right? Brussels sprouts came to fuck up.
Yo, Brussels sprouts having a hot
and buffalo cauliflower, all that. It's having a hot girl summer. Son,
Brussels sprouts is popping.
It's popping, right? Bro. Yo, tell me if you're one of these big farm corporations, you don't go, yo, listen, we will give you all the free produce you need, free for all your restaurants. Just make a dish with Brussels sprouts. Yeah. Because in 6 months, every fucking TGI Fridays, all this shit. Isn't that the way you game the system now?
Yeah, it's like influencers, like social media influencers, but restaurant influencers.
With chefs.
Yeah.
Because they can make anything good. I've been to these fancy restaurants. They take a fucking turnip and make it good.
The only reason why we thought Brussels sprouts were whack is because like fucking the influencers of our time told us it was whack.
It was every TV show or cartoon.
Every fucking, eat your Brussels sprouts. I'm like, oh, my God. And like, I never even ate it. I just assumed Brussels sprouts are trash. And then I grew up and I was like, bro, this shit roasted the right way. Nice seasoning, hot sauce.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
I think a version of that is happening. Maybe not from like big farms, but like every year there's the new craze. It's the kale. It's the...
So tell me if you're... there's a woman supposedly called the Queen of Kale. And she was the one that got kale popping.
Really?
Oh,
and I'm like, I think you can manifest these crazes. And I think if you had enough farmland where it was worth it to you to increase the amount of the nut that you sold, it doesn't have to be leaf. It could be, almonds aren't popping. What are we doing with almonds?
Yo,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do we get into the food culture where you start going, oh man, I need to have those honey glazed almonds or whatever it is?
Yeah. I just think it fizzles out quick though.
True.
Like in the food, it's like, oh, we're on to the next thing. Because kale came and went. Then it was just pumpkin everything.
Because you know what happens
then it's
after
like
a while.
oat milk everything. Then it was turmeric everything. It was avocado everything. Like it comes, fizzles, and then it's like, yeah, some people stick around, but then everybody's like, oh, you still on that shit? It's like the iPhone.
So it's quick money.
Yeah.
So it's not something you want to manifest because like you want to be in business with Brussels sprouts forever.
Yeah.
But at least you would know how to plan for it.
True. Like if there's stocks in that shit, it's like, oh, you just see what the basic white bitch girl is eating right now. It's like, oh, that's it. Put your money in that.
Real talk. Maybe
Pumpkin
that's
about
the
to
way.
go through the roof.
So you find the pipeline of that shit.
Yeah.
That's what I would do,
Basic white
So
bitch.
we gotta get a popping vegetable.
son, and give it to that guy
Make that the
Dan.
flagrant vegetable, bro.
Yo, we got to pick one, squash or some shit,
Something.
and then give it to the guy Dan.
Pumpernickel. What's pumpernickel? Is that good?
That's not a vegetable, son.
It's not.
No, that's black
bread,
ass
right?
bread, bro.
I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know that was a vegetable.
I was like, sounded like a vegetable. I don't know. Fuck yeah, let's get a fucking vegetable poppin'.
Son,
That shit. The talk of the town.
Beats,
You
yo.
know that.
yo, beats.
Yo.
Beats could easily
I
be
fuck
that
with, I
shit.
fuck with beats.
Beats by
fuck with
flagrancy. Beats by flagrant too, bro. Get them shits.
Oh, I just want to confirm that this Saturday when we were out, the sleeper cells, all the Chinatowns in America, that is a true thing. It was confirmed by a Chinese man during
you.
Andrew's set. That shit is happening. Be afraid.
I asked a Chinese couple in the front row.
Yep.
I said, yo, if it goes down between America and China, whose side you on?
No hesitation.
No hesitation. This motherfucker said China.
In a room full of Americans, proudly said China.
Yeah, but it's a woke crowd. Of course you can say that shit.
Say what? No, this was at a comedy club.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
son. And then
It's
and
kind
then
of
you asked it. You was like, oh, I've heard anybody has this theory that all the Chinatowns in cities are sleeper cells or whatever the case is.
And I go, is that the case? And then he's just mad quiet. And I was like, word?
All right, y'all keep playing. Next, I'm gonna get a Chinese girl. I'll be good.
bro.
Yo, all I'm saying is
I'm gonna be good.
maybe they were right about them tournament camps back in the day.
Yo, chill out. Son.
Don't chill out, son. It's the same
You
principle,
gotta
son.
take it- yeah, but
That's
you take
why,
it too
yo,
far,
people like
son.
you were the ones that made them. Do you know what I mean? You don't think that there was a white dude back in California like, yo, maybe we should round up these Japanese, bro. I think they got sleeper cells.
No, but ain't
Right?
no Japantown.
Say what?
Ain't no Japantowns.
There was probably some Japan. You know how scared white people must have been? They not even cooking the fish. They're like, yo, something's off with these motherfuckers. They just eating the fish right out the water. You don't think that's gonna scare a nice country white person
In the
who's
50s
been
or 40s?
cooking his food for his entire life? Japanese people just biting fish right out the fucking pond like a merman. Yo, they thinking they're mermaids, the Japanese, bro. No?
Nah, bro.
Not at all.
I can see it. I can see it.
Mermen don't eat fish. Aren't they like?
What
aren't
they eat?
like
Chicken wings,
fish
bro?
People.
What the fuck mermaids?
resent
What the fuck
that.
mermaids eat? They eating
I don't know,
jollof?
but like they're like fish. They're like one with the people. Like they speak to the fish. They're like
Yeah,
friends
but-
with the fish. They don't eat the fish.
This is
Bigger fish
Aquaman,
eat the
yo.
little fish, bro.
Nah, those are like predator
Yo,
fish.
son, fish eat
Like shark-
fish.
yeah.
That's
Shark
how
eat
good
fish.
fish are.
Nah, fish is delicious.
Yo, fish is so good. Even
is so
fish
fucking
eat
good,
them,
bro.
son. Son, if you talk to a fish about fish, like, I think I had that joke here a while ago, right? About
Like,
like,
you ask Kaz what he eats, he wouldn't be like Akaash.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but I had that
Eat
bit
the-
where it's like
the smaller version
we don't
of
eat
you.
midgets,
Yeah.
right? But like they do.
Valid.
That is valid. I would eat Akaash though if he was edible.
Wow.
I mean, he looked like. I mean, bro.
Hey, bro, you could get it.
Out of everybody in here, he looks like he has the most flavor. He looks delectable.
I'm gonna be bland, bro. I'm gonna be
years
bland,
of
bro.
turmeric, son. He's nice and
Andrew
bland.
bland as shit. Yo.
I'm gonna be bland, son. Ain't marinating. He been marinating our
Word.
car, son.
Like Alex, you too much seasoning. Like, that's like fucking heart palpitations and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Akaash, perfect amount of Spice. Tastiness. Throw that man on a fucking Foreman grill.
Foreman grill.
Oh, fuck.
Guys, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
A game is 10 times more exciting when you're putting money on it. That's a fact. Whether you've been putting money down for years or you're ready to play for the first time, MyBookie is your best bet this season. I'm going to tell you why.
Hell yeah.
There's a bunch of other things to say, but this is the reason. They're matching your initial investment up to $1,000. That's the reason.
That's crazy.
Yes, you could do parlays, Akaash, where you bet on a bunch of games and increase the amount that you could win. But you don't even have to worry about that because they're matching your money. I cannot tell you this more than this one way. You're getting free money to gamble with. You put some money in, they match it. It's as simple as that. Free money to gamble with. You go to mybookie.ag, you get that free money to gamble with because nobody is going to give you more ways to win than them. You can bet on the first half of the game, bet on the second half of the game. You'll lose on the first, you make it up on the second. Simple as that. You got pro football, college football, Major League Baseball, both hockey and basketball around the corner. Now it's time to get into the action, okay? You want to support your team this season. Don't just sit on the sidelines. You go to mybookie.ag. You join right now. MyBookie's going to double that deposit. You just got to use the code Flagrant. mybookie.ag. Use the code Flagrant. Go there. You play. You win. You get paid.
Real talk, there's only one way to make baseball exciting.
Exactly.
Gambling.
Gamble on that shit.
Only
son.
way.
Yeah.
You a Yankees fan? I don't really give a fuck, but you know what I mean? Gamble on the World
I
Series.
watched them games this
They out.
weekend, man.
They
Yeah,
out.
they
Yeah.
out, bro. I watched the entire fucking game, bro. It is so boring. Literally, there were 2 plays that made me scream, and they were the last 2 plays in the last inning. DJ LeMahieu ties it up. Altuve hits a walk-off. The entire 8 innings before that shit, I'm sitting there fighting sleep. I literally had to get up and go to a bar to watch the game. I'm like, I'm going to fall asleep on the couch if I watch this here. So I went to the bar down the street, sitting there fucking nervous as shit. As soon as LeMahieu ties it up, I'm like, all right, boom, we in here. Going to extra innings, got my drink here, yada, yada. Very next inning, he hits the walk-off, and that's the fucking game. That's baseball. The most boring, most popular fucking sport.
I just got bored right now listening to you talk about it.
Like, I see it. I'm trying to
Yeah.
hype it up and shit. I'm like, yeah, nah.
I just
Even
went on
talking
a-
about baseball.
I just went on a 30-minute rant about comedy that I thought was pretty boring. But hearing you talk about baseball for 30 seconds even put my own boring conversation in perspective.
That's for all the people that say we don't talk baseball. There it is. Give
That's
it a
the
shot,
reason.
yo.
Okay?
That's why.
You said DJ LeMahieu, and I almost fell asleep halfway through his name. There was something about huge. It sounded like
It took all my energy. I'm gone
it's
now.
so.
I'm done. What are we talking about now? The exciting sports happening this
Basketball
weekend?
season
Yo.
starts this week.
We got basketball back, but more importantly, I saw a crazy news story. Akaash, did you hear about them Indians that they put the cardboard boxes on their heads so they didn't cheat during the test?
No,
What?
no.
Son, there's an Indian school where the kids had to have a cardboard box with a hole cut out in the front when they're taking a test so they didn't look over at each other's
up.
tests. Is that a common thing?
Not that I know of, but good for them. Because you can't just all be cheating off the smartest kids in the school. They're all the
They're
smartest
all the
kids.
smart. I was about
So
to
who's
say.
cheating on who?
Bro, everybody probably cheating off everybody. They all going for them hundreds.
Now
Indians
you
be
just
cheating,
write
to be
the
honest.
answers inside the cardboard
That's-
box and you lit.
Bro.
I'm pretty sure they put the box, right? They don't let you bring your own box from home.
I thought they
you
let
have
you
a
bring your
photo?
own
Yeah,
I
box.
thought they would let you bring your own box.
You got a
So
photo?
wait, you just got to bring your bed? Kids, we would like if you bring your bed to school for test tomorrow. Everybody's going to
Not
test
the
in the
bed,
bed.
It's the bedroom.
The bed.
Relax, y'all.
Ah. Oh, shit.
I thought that was crazy, man. I took a little screenshot of it.
Yeah, I was about to say, can I see it?
I got you.
It's
I'll show you.
Yo, while we're pulling this up, did you guys watch the video I sent you of the Tom Brady massage parlor shit?
No, what was that?
Bruh, it's a clip from this.
Holy
let me
shit.
see. That's great. That's what's up, man. Don't let these
That's
little motherfuckers
commitment,
cheat.
bro.
Yeah, be doctors.
Nobody wants to. I don't even want to be smart that
There's a
bad.
clip. There's a clip I sent y'all. It's a little excerpt from this new Paul Rudd TV show, I think. His life sucks or whatever white people think. And he drives to.
White people.
Ain't that every white show? My life is just good. That's every
the Netflix show?
That's every liberal white person show. Yeah.
This is so funny. Go on this. This is so great.
That's it. Every white person TV show is oh, my life is only good. Why can't it be great? And it's like, bruh, this is very low stakes. I'm gonna be honest. Top Boy, I just started watching. Motherfuckers getting marked out with guns in England. I don't even know how they got the guns.
Yeah. They all have to share one. It's quite adorable.
And Paul Rudd is like, oh, I only make $60,000 a year.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about all white people. I'm not talking about the
This
fucking coal
second-class
miners in
life.
West Virginia. I'm talking about these fucking liberal cucks who are like, now this is art. Nah, man, that shit is boring, yo. That's all I got. I don't know what I have.
It's. I just didn't want to interrupt. You know,
I was going,
it's
bro.
like, there's this funny thing that I see often shared, and it's something like, not going for your dreams, and it's like it's not going for your dreams and risking it all, and instead just sitting at your job and. And then going home to your house and just eating with your family. That is the real nightmare or something like that. Like you know what I mean. I'm not wording it right, but essentially the idea that like you got to go. Like white people we're so good at just regular life that being regular is a nightmare.
Oh yeah, man. It's just it's the worst thing in the world.
Be
to
like
you
your
guys.
dad.
Yeah. No, but like the golden handcuffs. Like my mom even described this to me once. She was like, I had this job and I had my health care and I had my benefits and I had, but those are the golden handcuffs. Because that's what they do. They get you to stay there with those golden handcuffs because they don't want you to go out there and be great. And it's like, how many people would love
Lock me up.
like that's the dream to be handcuffed to that life.
Oh man, I get so fucking tired of these shows. That's what Louis was, man. That's why I didn't fuck with Louis. I'm like, you're just a white dude who's complaining that he's 10 pounds overweight but keeps eating. Like,
Yeah.
fuck is a big deal here?
Dude, there is something about it. Like I understand, like, I'm a white guy, right? So I have this privilege, right? Mm-hmm. But I've always thought about this. So let's say I have this privilege. Let's say, Kaz, let's say my life is, be generous. How many times better than you just because of the color of my skin?
Oh, off rip? Are we doing like multiples or percentages?
Percentages. Let's say 50%.
Shit's like 65% better.
Sure, whatever you want. I could have said any number.
Yeah.
I'm 65% better than you, right?
Can you reword that? It
Yeah.
felt weird.
I'm 100% better than you. No. My life, my
Superior.
privilege is. Thank you. I was looking for that synonym.
More chosen.
So my life is 65% better.
65% more of a person.
Oh,
Listen, so let's say I'm 2/5 better than you, right?
That's what I'm looking for.
I know. So,
Fuck.
Oh god.
so what if he chose the exact amount? It turned out it to be 2/5. But let's just say that, right? Whatever amount you say. I don't view things like that.
No, I'm just saying.
For the
like,
sake of the hypothetical.
It's just a hypothetical.
I'm
It's just a
giving you
hypothetical.
number. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
feel that either. I'm just throwing it out.
Look, we're just throwing it out to appease whoever's listening. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even if my life is better, I was talking to Alex and Weezy about this. I don't see myself as more privileged than anybody. Even if I am, I can't go through life and treat you equally if
sure.
I see myself as better.
Yeah.
So I purposely refuse to lean into that so I don't feel pity in my interactions with you or Alex or Akaash or anything like that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I think our interactions are quite trusted when I say these things because it doesn't seem like I'm speaking down to whatever.
We know.
Anyway, so 65%, right? I'm 65% more, right? But both of us are 10,000% better than somebody living in like a forest in
Oh,
Cambodia.
1,000%.
Right?
Yeah.
So my percentage better than you is like 0.00001%
Yep.
when it compares to the person at the bottom. So while we're complaining about who's in the 99th percentile and the 98th that's the argument in America.
Dude, 100%.
Is 98 and 99th percentile. And we're like, oh my God, you have it so better. And oh my God, I feel so bad you got so worse. And literally the majority of the world is like, I'll take anything.
Yes.
Give me anything.
Dude, I used to say this with Occupy Wall Street. It's like, bro, if you're American, you are the 1%.
Yes.
American privilege. Fuck white, black, whatever privilege.
Yes.
American privilege is the overwhelming privilege.
American poor is adorable. Do you know what I mean? You know, like American poor. I live in the projects and we can only buy Jordans 3 times a year. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. It's when you compare our poor to other people's poor.
Go drink the water in India from the projects. You think your water's bad? Go drink that water. See how your body handles it. just drink it if you can get it.
Yo, this is my favorite thing.
Yo, I didn't
They
know
were
that.
peeing in the elevator. You have an
Elevator,
elevator?
yo?
You know what I'm saying? What do you mean elevator? You got floors in your building? Wait, your building is made of a substance that can sustain multiple floors? Yeah. Like this crazy. A hurricane's not going to wash your whole shit up? Like we're all so fucking lucky, dude.
100%. 100%.
Grand scheme of things, absolutely.
And I understand.
I'll never trade I'll never trade American poor for like Nigeria poor.
Bruh.
Ever.
Bruh.
But at the same time, you guys got it pretty fucking good.
So do you.
The point is, all we know is what we see, right? So I completely understand everybody complaining about what they see, and I completely understand like cul-de-sac whites complaining about things in their life because they don't see the poverty that's in the hood, right? And that's why they make shows about how Paul Rudd's life is okay, because they're so blinded to what goes on in Far Rock, what goes on in part of Staten Island. These white people truly have no fucking clue about what goes on with poor whites in Middle America. Like they don't even know, right?
That's my issue is more the people who seem to like cling on to it, these fucking liberal white fans that like think they're open-minded. And you're like, you think you're open-minded and you think that's a terrible life? Like you got no global perspective if that's what you think.
And that's why we see so many of those shows because that's more of the population than
Maybe.
people who are actually in
The thing is, nobody wants
I
to
think
see
there's
that
more
global
poor white
perspective.
people who don't give a fuck about it, but yeah.
I think there's more poor whites, but the people in like LA and New York
Yes,
are so like what is the word? Detached?
Yeah.
They're so detached from that reality that they keep on making their shows where they work in like an advertising firm and they like have like brunch all the time. And the people in Middle America are like, what are you like? Are we supposed to relate to this?
There's a reason Roseanne slapped.
Some
Poor.
fat bitch. You know how many fat bitches there are?
Poor fat bitches.
Poor fat bitches that eat corn products all day.
That's why Duck Duck Dynasty is.
Did you call it Duck Duck Dynasty?
There's only one duck.
I don't care. That's Duck Duck Dynasty.
Duck Duck Goose.
Those people,
Duck Duck
those people have
Dynasty.
the fucking smarts of preschoolers who play Duck Duck Goose all day.
And they had the fucking game on
I
Smash.
forgot what fucking joke they said.
And that,
they said
that relates to the
what's the
country.
dude's name?
More of the country than
You're not wrong.
Bullshit. Yeah.
The Duck Dynasty dude, when they canceled him or whatever, and they're like, "Oh my God, can you believe he said this about black people?" They're like, "Yeah, have you seen the fucking show?" They're like, "What do you think he thought?"
I haven't even seen the
it was a
show.
fucking
But
swamp.
it's called Duck Dynasty.
Like, he got rich by fucking.
Who do you
having the
think
most
he's trying
ducks
to
in his
camouflage
swamp.
himself from?
What the fuck? What? Did you think he had these fucking? Did you think he had these like really far thinking ideals
Nuance.
on nuanced ideologies on the race relations? The motherfucker got rich off of ducks. He don't know shit. But
Anyway, the scene in the show, to get back to the point,
Oh,
is
shit, sorry
he's
about
going to a massage. No, I brought it up, but he's going to one of these happy ending massage parlors, and he's like contemplating, like, ugh, am I really going to do this? And then he's about to pull out, and then Tom Brady walks out of the massage parlor.
that's
And
funny.
then he's got a car waiting for him, and then Paul Rudd is like, what the fuck? And he turns around and says to Tom Brady, I don't know, Tom Brady says something like, this is great. And then Paul Rudd said, is this your first time? And then Tom Brady just looks at him like, come on. And then he gets into his SUV and drives off. Brady was apparently like upset that people thought he was making fun of Robert Kraft, but there was no other fucking reason that you're doing this unless it's the craziest coincidence in the world that you filmed it a year ago and Robert Kraft is getting hand jobs at Agents of Orchid or whatever the fuck. So funny.
What do you think? What do you think
great.
happened?
I think he did it to take a little shot at Kraft. Have
Because
some fun.
Kraft was gonna. No, I thought Kraft was his boy.
Kraft is his
his
boy. I
boy.
think he's just like, fuck it, this is funny. I thought it was just like, hey man.
and if you talk to
I
like,
sent it on the text thread, so
Yeah.
you can find it, Alex, if you don't mind.
and if
If you
you
just
talk
look at our old
to
text
anybody
messages.
who's been around Brady, it's same thing with like Peyton Manning and like all these like quarterbacks, or whatever. Like, that's his humor. Like, if you
Yeah.
told anybody like, oh, like Brady's a great fucking guy, like he's this. People think like Brady's this like fucking very stoic, fucking super competitive. Like, yo, he's a bro, dude. Like, he went to Michigan. He chugs beers faster than anybody could humanly do. Like,
Right.
And everybody's around him. Like, you'll never catch him doing that because he's the consummate pro and he says everything he's supposed to say when the camera's in front of his face. But anybody who knows him personally says, like, yeah, like, he's a riot to be around. He's always got jokes. Same thing with Peyton Manning. Same thing with, like, a lot of these fucking dudes. How else are you going to fucking connect to 70 other people on a team every single year?
That's a good-ass point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be some sort of
So we're not
charismatic.
getting real Brady.
No, we don't get real Brady. Hell no.
We don't
Hell
get
no.
real Brady.
We'll never get real Brady. The
It's
only people
weird
that
you
get real
never see
Brady
that
is, like,
popping
Steve
out. Like, the only time you see a little real Brady is when you see him talking shit to the cornerbacks
I
pregame.
love
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit. I love that
Oh,
shit,
yeah.
yo. I
See
love
him on the
that.
sidelines, like hyping up the
Chirping.
fucking fans
Yeah.
and shit. Like,
40 years old, still don't give a just chirping.
This one right here?
Yeah,
that's gotta
down.
be it.
There's down there. Go down.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me see.
So it's
this.
41 seconds.
Are we allowed to play this?
Yeah.
No.
But he's
just
pulling
in
into
case,
Paul
don't.
Rudd's got glasses on. He's apparently unhappy. He's pulling into Top Happy Spa,
Mm.
and he's just like, nah. He's shaking his head like, nah. I'm not gonna do it. The fucking cat in the window. And he's just about to pull out. He's reversing, and then out walks the God. Takes a deep breath in, looks relieved,
Oh,
walks to his car.
That's great.
That is great.
That's great.
First time?
I love Paul Rudd.
Oh, so Brady asked Paul Rudd first time, and then Paul Rudd says, you, and then Brady just looks at him and smiles and then gets in the car.
Love it.
Great. It's great.
He's got to lean into that.
I'm
though.
pretty sure he ran it by Kraft first.
Oh, of
You
course.
think so?
Yeah.
Good for Crafton.
Yeah.
These billionaires
'Cause
don't give a
he-
fuck.
I was
got
about to say,
off
that's how
that
good it is
shit.
to be
Like,
rich.
Yeah.
We don't even talk about it. So he's like,
Yeah, like
look, I
why-
got off and now let me make fun of it.
He really did
I got
get
off,
off.
and then I got off.
That's how you get off.
Okay, what else?
So this Alshon Jeffrey thing, this story just broke as we're about to start recording. But this is very funny. Last week, there was a source criticizing Doug Peterson, an anonymous source to Josina Anderson, criticizing Carson Wentz, saying basically Wentz and Peterson just kind of go for the big play too often, and they could check down every once in a while, and then like a couple other little criticisms.
Check down means throw to the
Check down
running
means
back
instead
in
of
the
always
back.
trying to throw deep. There's a running back. There's a tight
Yeah.
end who are running shorter routes. You go for you look for the deep ball first, and if that's not there, you check down and you throw it to one of these underneath routes for 8 yards, whatever.
Why won't they do it? What is it ego? What is the
I don't know why, and it doesn't seem like. I mean, I watched the Cowboys game. They seemed to be throwing a lot of the game last night. It seemed like a lot of 10-yard routes, 8-yard routes, whatever. But this was just a player that was criticizing that was anonymous. Alshon Jeffrey, I think was like he's the guy that somebody said was Alshon Jeffrey, and apparently he's been saying like I have no idea who it is. We got to find this guy. Could be any number of people. And then somebody just outed him. Josina Anderson says, whoever outed Alshon Jeffrey, I forget his name, that guy has zero knowledge of my sources. But she also didn't say it wasn't Alshon Jeffrey. She just says he has zero clue of who I spoke to. That's not saying it wasn't Alshon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a tricky wording, I think. So it's quite possibly Alshon Jeffrey, which is so funny.
What about Nelson Aguilar?
It could be Aguilar. And I don't know if you watched the game. There was a deep...
That's the clip I wanted to bring up.
So, yeah, it's 30-10. Eagles got the ball with 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Wentz throws a deep ball to Nelson Aguilar, who has his cornerback beat.
Easy.
Easy. And if he just extends his arms at all, it seems like he's going to catch it.
Yeah.
He pulls back.
He like chicken armed it.
Did you watch it? He
Yeah,
had
I
the
saw it,
he
yeah.
goes like this. He
It's
goes
like he thought
out.
a safety was coming, but nobody's there.
I think that's what it was. I think it looks as if he goes out and then I think he caught something in his like peripheral and then he pulled back and then he realized a fraction of a second later that it wasn't a safety. He just caught part of the helmet or caught something on the sidelines, whatever.
Glare or some shit.
And then he just let his arms go because he's like, I fucked up. But it looked as if he quit on the play. But he's already been dropping all those balls, and then that guy had that
the homeless
amazing
guy, yeah.
Twitter.
By the way,
was
that
homeless.
video, whatever.
I wasn't
the fuck it was.
homeless.
He looked like he was homeless. Whatever that video was, I don't believe this motherfucker was. How come there's no video of you catching babies? This is the audio clip of the guy saying like they were having to throw babies out of the fire escape. We caught him. We're not like Aguilar or whatever his name is. We caught
I
the
would
babies.
hope if somebody was there, they would also try to catch the babies, not just videotape
But
it.
there's just nothing. Like I don't know. That's kind of babies are just getting thrown off of balconies and you're just catching all of them.
Also, how many babies? Like, is this like a Latina neighborhood? Like, what? Like, are you gonna have multiple babies in one apartment? It's
yeah.
one family with multiple babies. Physically, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, I don't think I believe this clip.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
That he was catching multiple babies and then just
a
did
lot
it
of times it's
news
multiple
report?
families. Like,
So all these families agreed to have babies at the exact same
No,
fucking
not at
time.
the exact same time.
And
but
they're all
it's
throwing.
like,
None of them made it out and carried a baby out. They all just threw him to one or two guys. Hey,
Gotta have a plan, bro.
No. Now that you bring this up, this is quite interesting.
Yeah.
How are there multiple babies on the floor? And
I know for a fact. I know lots of people who've had families where it's like their brothers and sisters, whatever, all live in the same. Not Nigeria.
I thought you were gonna say I know multiple people who have caught babies. I was gonna be like, get Kaz, get the fuck out of the room.
No. I'm just saying, like, it's perfectly logical to have like brothers and sisters who have kids that all live in the same building. They don't have
Okay,
to,
but
it's not
all
like,
of them throwing their baby out the window to one or two guys, like none of them are like, nah, I got this, man. Instead of throwing my child, I'll just carry him down the steps because I got to get out.
Listen, if there's a blazing fire there, you probably don't think the best. I don't know, but
I just think it's a little suspicious. There's no footage of this whatsoever. In a world where everything else gets caught on camera.
well, shit's on fire, bro. Like, and there's babies flying. I think
Everything else
Maybe
gets
some
caught
people
on
were like,
camera.
"Yo, let's try to help these people."
You know how many deaths
Clearly
I've
there was
seen
one
on camera?
guy. Well, yeah.
That's what most people do, and it's fucked up. But the reality is most people, instead of saving, will just start taping.
Well, I'm sure if you look hard enough, there's some sort of video there.
Nothing
I'm
exists.
sure it's there. But I mean,
Nothing exists.
also, you're not going to drop one of the babies.
That's exactly-
Every throw is perfect.
Yeah.
That's
And none
why-
of these babies
that's
get
why
injured.
Alcohol had to catch that smoke. It's like, that's why I had to catch that smoke because I see how fucking easy it is. These are babies. You can't catch dead pigskin. Pigskin.
Anyway, yeah.
I got it.
So apparently it's Alshon Jeffrey that's talking shit about his own team, and he got outed. And it's so funny because I just always been curious who the anonymous sources are, and this time we found out, and it's like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, that's hilarious. It's Carson Wentz is kind of ass, yo.
Yo, it
It's kind
is.
of ass.
I always fear the Eagles. I still don't think the season is over.
I know.
But it is.
The NFC least.
Yeah, it's the NFC least. It's a horrible division. But they look really bad right now.
I mean, I thought you farted. That was your phone. Yeah, man. I mean, I remember in the beginning of the season when they're talking Dak Prescott fucking contract numbers, and they're like, "Oh,
Have that been resolved at all with
No.
Dak?
no."
Still.
But the big thing was like he should get paid more than Carson Wentz.
His
I'm like,
numbers
yo,
are
you're
better
bugging.
across the board.
Immediately, I was like, "Yo, Dak Prescott, you're not better than Carson Wentz." Now look at the numbers and look at the win-loss percentage, and then I see last game.
Pretty
I'm
much
like,
every number I've seen, Dak Prescott's a little bit better.
I'm like, oh,
Dude,
yeah, I guess.
I
guess
was
I
never
get caught up
big
in the-
on Carson Wentz.
I get caught up on like the draft shit. Like if you're a first round guy and then you cook in your rookie year and then you win a Super Bowl.
Carson Wentz's second year, he was going to be MVP. If he
Oh,
didn't
for
get hurt.
sure. But I mean, Prescott's definitely made his case that he needs to be one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league and definitely be paid more than Carson Wentz.
Yo, did you guys see that one play? You know the play where Dak ran in for a touchdown?
Yeah.
If you look at the sideline camera footage of it, it's really funny because Zeke is running an out.
Yeah.
And when Zeke noticed it, did you see it?
I think I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
Say it.
When Zeke didn't get the ball, he was pissed.
Yo, dude, it was like, what a fucking cunt. this when he noticed that he wasn't gonna get the pass,
Yeah.
and that Dak was going for it, you can see him visibly put his arms down, and he kind of gets like pushed out of bounds by the linebacker or whoever's like
yeah.
I think it was
covering him.
Jenkins.
Was it Jenkins?
Malcolm Jenkins, yeah.
But it was like, bro, you can't even be interested to see if Dak gets in. Like,
I'm not a huge Zeke fan, man. I don't trust the guy's character fully. I just don't.
let's say he don't get in,
Yeah.
then I understand the attitude.
Yeah.
Because you're like, fam, just give it to me. This is what I do. I'll bully myself in.
Yep.
But, bro, to be upset
Yep.
and your team hasn't even not scored the touchdown yet?
Wanted that money, bro.
But is that
he got
conversation?
paid, though.
He
That's
got
what
paid,
confuses
son.
me. Is you already got
He doesn't
paid.
get incentives for like touchdown.
I doubt it, bro. You already got a $100 million contract. How much
What
more
do
can you get paid?
So what happens to you as like, fuck being a fan? Let's say you're the coach. Like, is that a combo? Do you have
I mean, I think some coaches would. I don't think Garrett would. But I think like a hard ass coach or whatever would at least pull him aside and be like, "Yo, what the fuck is it?"
because Dak gonna see that. Like if
They're
I
apparently
saw it,
homies. Is what's weird. Is they're apparently like tight.
nah, B.
Well, they came in the same year, right?
Dak is on
Same
record
draft.
saying that's my best friend. I don't know if that means that or not, but he said it.
Dak's always. That's the one thing I give Dak. Dak always says the right thing.
He reminds me of Russell
Always,
Wilson a lot,
yeah.
and Russell Wilson is cornier than Dak.
Yeah.
But like, there's a clip, there's a tweet I saw. It's Russell Wilson saying, "Let's be great" to every single teammate before a game. He goes and gives every one of them five. He goes, "Let's be great. Let's be great. Let's be great." And it's like, That's just a fucking leader.
That's what you
Naturally,
get. That's
a
what
leader.
you.
Dak is like that.
Yeah.
And I think he's cooler than Russell Wilson. He's not as good of a quarterback, but he's cooler. So, like, it doesn't come across as corny, but he does the same kind of shit. So I think him and Zeke will be fine. But there is something about Zeke that I'm like, what is that? Like, you already got paid. Relax.
Is there a little competition between them because they're both the same? They came the same year.
Same
the
year,
same
Both
but
same
draft,
year.
yeah.
They're fighting for
I don't know why
who's
there
the
would
top
be,
dog
though.
in Dallas. You know, the quarterback is always going to get a lot more love from the people, but you might think that you're a more skilled player.
Well,
I mean, if I had
Dak
to guess,
is more divisive in Dallas.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks in Dallas are always, unless you win a Super Bowl, you're not good enough.
Oh, really?
Romo still, a lot of people divided on Romo. I didn't think he was that great. Then I realized he just had a shitty supporting cast. But like Danny White, a quarterback in the 80s, really good stats, very much like Romo. Made it to 3 NFC championships, never won. Everybody in Dallas is like, whatever, yo.
So
we
it's-
win
it's
chips.
Chips or nothing.
Chips or nothing. Right now, fan base is very divided on Dak in Dallas.
Can we have a little combo about Amari Cooper?
Yo, he's so
he saved that
fucking-
man's career. I
Yeah,
think.
man. He
Amari Cooper was always like that dude coming out of college too. I remember.
him at college, right?
Where'd he go?
no,
No.
Auburn.
Auburn,
Alabama,
right.
Alabama,
No,
Alabama.
It was Alabama or
I'm pretty sure it's
Oklahoma.
It was Bama.
Pretty sure it's
Whatever.
Alabama.
It was red and white.
Anyway, I
right?
remember seeing him in college.
Okay,
was
and he
always
killed
that
it.
dude.
Don't get me wrong, he
Yeah.
killed it. But in college, you're also like, okay, you're not going against elite corners.
He had a
like, you
great
just
rookie
beat-
year in Oakland, maybe a good second year, and then all of a sudden production kind of dropped off. And then all of a sudden we were like, Oakland is shopping him, and the Cowboys made the move.
Dumbass Gruden
Yeah.
shopped everybody.
Gruden
That
shopped
wasn't
all his
yeah.
blue chip players. But from what I remember, like reading these Cowboys guys on Twitter or whatever, they were like, this is the kind of quarterback that Dak Prescott needs. Really good route runner, can do
Kind of
things
receiver.
after.
Yeah.
Like Dez was, throw the ball up,
I'ma get
I'll
it.
go get it.
Yeah.
Just trust, even if I don't look fucking open, throw the ball up, I'll go get it.
Amari's like, I'm going to be open.
And Amari's like, I'm going to run the illest route you've ever seen. I'll be open.
Bro, he put this one dude, Douglas,
Yo.
in the spin cycle.
Yeah.
I was watching this clip on ESPN over and over last night. It was this quick little slant, right? He does
Yeah.
a fake slant.
Yes. It's a sluggo, I think it's called. Slant and go. So you
Slant
slant,
and go.
in,
Oh, right.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
all of a sudden you cut up the
Bruh.
field and you run like a vertical go route.
Oh, he had the second, and it was almost like he was watching my man's hips. Is like the second Douglas committed,
Yeah.
he was gone.
Yeah, chopped it
Wide
up.
open.
And Douglas actually recovered pretty well. I mean, for how beat he was.
There's a game in Philly last year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Amari does not a similar move, but some kind of move in his route, and legit, if I'm not mistaken, legit tears Ronald Darby's ACL. Legit, Darby tears
Those
his
are my
ACL
favorite
on that
highlights,
play,
bro.
and you don't see him but he goes down.
Yeah.
So something happens, and Amari runs an ill ass route.
God
so he
damn.
might have legit torn Darby's ACL.
I remember what's his face did that. DeAndre Hopkins on Real was it Real Sports? Hard Knocks. Somebody was talking mad shit about him. He runs this wild shit. He's like, I do this, bro. He runs some fucking crazy ass route. Dude guarded him. I want to say it's Josh Norman. I might be wrong, but it was some like well-known cornerback. Either fucked up his foot or his ACL or some shit. And he's just literally sitting there on the floor like grabbing his shit. So like Cooper, totally see that happening, man. Like he's been a baller ever since he got to that. I mean, he was already good, but like that being an elite receiver in Dallas is like it's a different type of fucking spotlight. It's being like a center fielder for the Yankees.
What's cool
It's
about
like
him
a
is
point
he's
guard
got
for
that
the
Julio
Yankees, like-
Jones thing where he's just quiet.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not
what they need, bro.
He's not like super, and I love Dez, but Amari's the opposite in that he's like quiet. He don't call attention to himself. He don't like. You don't see crazy Amari celebrations. You don't hear headlines.
No.
He's just a quiet dude.
Did you see the clip of Larry Fitzgerald and Kyler Murray talking about Julio?
No.
I love when like elite, I'll call Larry elite,
Yes,
elite
of course.
players
For sure
like
elite.
show
Yeah.
love to. I just didn't want to put Kyler in there yet, but like show love to like their contemporaries.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were mic'd up, and Larry goes, "Did you see Julio?" And Kyler's like, "Yeah." He goes, he's the best I've ever seen, or something like that. And then Kyler goes, "Yo, he's massive," or something like that. Like they're just talking about how great the
Yeah.
opposing
Yeah.
wide
That's
receiver.
great.
And Larry's like, "Yo, watch him, because you're gonna learn shit."
Yeah.
I feel like that's easier to do in football
Love
because
that.
you don't need to like.
You're not playing
guard that
against
person.
them. That's
Yeah.
true.
So you can always
You could
be
check your
like-
ego a little.
Yeah, like they were saying that shit a lot about fucking the Seahawks Ravens game yesterday. They're like Lamar Jackson gets to watch Russell Wilson and da 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 da, and then like he goes out and beats him.
Son,
There's a clip you retweeted that was ill.
Son, that shit gave me goosebumps this morning,
the Raven
bro.
shit?
It's
Bro.
John Harbaugh.
Talk about it.
John Harbaugh is on the sideline. Is they're on the 8-yard lines, 4th down, right?
Yeah, I think 4th and 2, but I'm also just kind of making up a number.
Yeah, it was a goal line. It was like 4th and like
Whatever it was.
it was an 8-yard run.
I think it was 8-yard, but then whatever, it doesn't matter. Harbaugh's on the sideline. Lamar comes back to the sideline. Harbaugh leans over to Lamar, and there's like a lot of like ruckus and everything going on. He goes, "You want to go for it?" And he goes, and then like Lamar thinks he hears him, but he's not sure. He goes, "Hell yeah, coach, let's go for it." And then what I thought was really cool was he looks, I think, at his offensive lineman. Was that it?
I think so.
He leans to someone. He's like, "Y'all want to go for it?" You know what I mean? And they're like, "Yeah." But I thought it was really cool because,
I love that dude, man.
dude, I
such a
fucking love
fan of
him. But he did it. But it was really cool because he was like, "Yeah, I want to go for it." But these are the guys that are gonna make this room.
Yeah.
Y'all want to do this?
Yeah.
And I
Bro,
wonder
and
if
when
you're like
he
a
ran
vet.
it in,
Oh, it was great.
I've never seen him show that much emotion. Like,
Yeah.
well, oh my god!
But I
I'm
wonder
like,
if
that's a fucking quarterback.
If
right
you're
there,
a
guys.
vet, if you're a vet O lineman, and like your quarterback goes, do you want to do this?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's part of you that goes like, "Oh no, there will be room
this.
provided now." You put it on me.
Yeah.
You didn't make this decision.
Yeah.
We made this decision.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, dude, it was so
It's like that
sick.
Theo shit. That's my
bro.
quarterback. That's my
Yeah.
quarterback.
What was that? What was
You
that?
remember Theo was crying after they lost a Cowboy game,
It's like, it's
a
not fair.
playoff game. I think it was against the Giants. He's like, "Y'all are being too hard on Tony Romo." He's literally crying.
In
He goes,
tears.
That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback.
You've never seen this video?
No.
Which is
Dog,
weird.
he's like he has sunglasses. He's like bawling, crying over.
It's like
Tony
Rod
Romo.
Tidwell and Jerry Maguire,
Yeah.
just crying.
Yeah.
But
He's like, it's
it's
not fair.
and I think he was full of shit. But because he trashed Romo literally a
Yeah,
year
like
later.
I think that's why
But-
it made so much noise because like weeks going into there it was like Theo and Romo, are they getting along? Da, 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 da. And he went like he shed
Yeah,
tears.
he's a
with
crazy
us
person.
afterwards.
But
Yeah.
I think there's, as an offensive lineman, if your quarterback looks to you like that, it's like, yo, that's my quarterback. That's my fucking guy. He cares about me. He makes me a part of this shit. It's not about him. It's about us. If you're like, y'all want to go for it? Let's go for it. Maybe we're reading too much into it, but that's definitely something I could see happening.
Maybe.
It was just fun. It was just cool. I know. I don't want to go too too long because we have this interview that we're adding on this
Yeah, let's knock that out.
on this podcast right here, my friends. But there are bills that need to be paid. I feel like Akaash Singh knows how to deliver this because he is the most staunch.
I am a subscriber to The Athletic. The Athletic is a subscription-based publisher of smarter sports coverage for diehard fans. The model is simple. There's no dumbass ads. There's no stupid-ass pop-ups. There's no autoplay videos. There's no articles at the bottom that are dumb shit like, you won't believe 10 things Kylie Jenner said to Kendall on. Fucking infuriating me that I'm reading this on a sports site. Athletic got none of that. The coverage goes beyond game recaps to provide smarter analysis and a deeper perspective about teams and league. Subscribers have full access to all national and local NBA coverage, plus stories, podcasts, and videos from all sports. Personally, I subscribe to the Cowboys. I subscribe to the Mavericks. So in addition to mainstream stories, I get stories from those two teams in particular. It's all courtesy of their team of talented writers, which includes the likes of Shams Charania, shouts to my Indian brother, David Aldridge, Sam Amick, Zach Harper, Ken Rosenthal, Jason Stark, Seth Davis, Pierre LeBrun, Stuart Mandel, Bruce Feldman, and Jay Glazer. Subscribe to The Athletic today. Go to theathletic.com/flagrant2 for 40% off a yearly subscription. That's a massive discount. That comes out to $2.99 a month when you subscribe at theathletic.com/flagrant2. Again, that's theathletic.com/flagrant2.
God, Akaash, that was beautiful. It was absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so once again, we have an interview with Adam from No Jumper. So that will be coming up right now. I warned you guys about this in the beginning of the episode. So here it comes. And again, we recorded this last week. So if there's anything crazy that has happened in the meantime, we did not know. But yeah, enjoy the interview. Thank you, new listeners who are here just to listen to this Adam No Jumper interview. Hopefully you like the podcast. You want to check out what we're doing. And if not, fuck you. It's on site. It's on site. It's on site.
On site.
It's on site. All right?
Site.
Without further ado, Flagrant 2, Adam from No Jumper. We're going to explain to you why his threesomes must be the worst possible. Indulge. And special guest.
Very special guest.
Special guest in the building.
Yeah.
Adam22.
Yeah.
Also known as Adam No Jumper. Also known as No Jumper. Connoisseur of
Oh boy.
of
Lots of
private
things.
Snapchat girls, gangster rappers, basically anyone with a horrible childhood. Adam will find a way to make money off of you.
I'm guessing by them tattoos he relates.
Yeah, right?
We're gonna keep
No,
it
no,
up.
That's just
this
the one.
guy-
I managed to survive.
Oh,
I respect
You
it.
know, you come from New Hampshire.
Oh,
You had a
right?
good childhood, right? You were BMXing in those streets, in those cul-de-sacs, if you will.
For real.
And then you went to start this. I don't even want to call it music because it's not only music. It's
I'll tell you, just
multimedia,
media. Yeah.
YouTubers, porn stars.
the whole nine.
Yeah.
Right in LA. Adam, thank you so much for coming here. I've done the
happy
No
to be
Jumper
here, man.
podcast a few times. I always have fun out there with you. I really thought it was a sports podcast before I went the first time.
Really? So you thought we were going to talk about sports all the time? That's amazing.
Son, I 100% did. I thought the whole thing with No Jumper is that you were a guy like you could dunk or get to the rim, but you just
No.
couldn't pull up.
Terrible.
So what's the why name it that?
Just because there's that Gucci song "Bricks" where he said, "I'm balling like an athlete, but got no jumper." And we actually made like a list of like 100 different song lyrics that we just thought sounded tight, and we just sort of like went through it over and over, and just found that, and just figured
that was the one that fit.
thought like it sounded like something, and we could get the URL. So I was like, all right, let's do it.
So you were thinking. I'm always curious for about people who get unaccidental success, because there are people who have accidental success and then they often flame out, but there are people who have purposeful success, and even though they may experience their fair share of problems in their career, which we know you probably have gone through, they manage to kind of reinvent and do something. How early on do you think you understood the internet space and how lucrative it was going to be for you?
I mean, really, I have full memories of being like 14 years old with a internet connection and just not being able to go to bed until like 4 a.m, even though I had school at 6 because I was so obsessed with the internet. You know, it's like you kind of just are drawn towards things, and those are the things that you know you should probably like listen to your body. Like I'm sure for you, like you don't have a hard time going to do comedy.
Love it.
You know,
Love it.
like myself, I have a hard time going to the gym.
Yes.
I'm not an athlete. Like
Yeah.
that's just not like
Yeah.
who I really am.
Yeah.
But like for me, like doing podcasts, I'm super drawn towards it. So I feel like I'm swimming in the right direction. Like internet, always just 100%. Like even before I even had like the mental tools to understand that I was so drawn towards it. It was all I could think about was just writing shit online. The communities that are popping up. I was on.
But did you know you were going to monetize it? Because that's something that I've always found you did quite well. It's like, it's not just put out the videos or do the interviews with the strippers or this type of shit. It's like, there was a moment where you were playing other people's music online. You remember that
I
shit?
still do that.
Did they shut that down? They
No,
didn't
that's
shut
like
that down?
literally like the best monetization angle we have going, more or less.
So how does that work? Do you have like a streaming deal with
No,
the
we
podcast
just stream
or
live on YouTube the same way that people like play video games, except that we just play people's SoundCloud links or play their YouTube videos and give them thoughts about their shit, and the chat destroys them or compliments them, one or the other, and we just sort of like, I don't know, people go crazy for that shit. But in terms of like monetization, to be real, I remember even because like my first big thing that I did that actually made sense as like a business online was that I started like basically the first BMX blog in 2006 called thecomeup.com.
Blog or
Still
vlog?
around.
It was
Blog.
written.
Yeah. It was just like BMX news,
I remember that blog.
videos, etc.
Yeah.
But it was like that was kind of new because at the time, like I was just influenced by Now Right and Two Dope Boys and all these rap blogs and shit that were popping up, and I was like, oh, I could do like a BMX version, and that was my first inroad to doing anything that could actually be monetized. And I was totally blind to the reality of like, oh, you can get people to give you money for banner ads on the side. I had to like figure it all out from scratch. It was
Right.
I was just not like educated about that at all.
But you realized that there was money there.
Yeah. because at the time I was playing online poker, and man, that is really not the way of life that you want to have, bro.
Dog. It's a grind.
It's just like so many hours of just sitting there. I was pissing in this jug. And, it was because you can't get up. You got 8 tables going. It's like you got to run to the bathroom and back. It might take you like a solid minute, and you're gonna get timed out on like half of your tables.
Right.
So I would keep a jug under my table, and I would just piss in the jug.
How much money did you make on online poker?
I mean, I was doing pretty good for a while for those because those early years, like I didn't realize it, but I got into it in boom times, like 2003, 2004, 2005. That was like the main time that I was really playing like nonstop, and it was stupid easy. Like I'm not under the illusion that I could be like a winning online poker player now because the game is so much tougher. It's insane how much it's progressed. But at that time, I was doing pretty good. I was probably doing like low 6 figures a year, which to me, as like a 21-year-old, like college dropout, I was pretty fucking hyped. But it was like that time just spent online where I was constantly looking for something to distract me online because I just wanted to like, I was just looking for different blogs and stuff because or just news websites, whatever, because I'm just sitting there playing poker all day and I just always want something to be able to glance over at and stuff. Right. And I'd be messaging people on AIM or whatever, but I would end up looking at a lot of message boards and I'd look at blogs a lot, and I just sort of ended up seeing that gap in the BMX game. And to be honest, I just like completely dominated that whole world for like 10 years, and then at some point got kind of bored and started doing podcasts and vlogs and stuff, and then that sort of like transitioned over to me doing a lot of shit with rappers.
Yeah, how the fuck do you go from BMX to hip-hop? Do those worlds collide at all?
They do, just in the sense that like the average BMX kid is just out riding his bike listening to fucking rap songs in his headphones all day. So I was always just riding BMX and making BMX videos and just whatever. So it was like I always just was just a rap fan as like a young kid. Like I was obsessed with like Snoop and Wu-Tang and everything out of New York and all this shit. And then like I feel like with me just having that kind of career path where I didn't really have to like ever stop just like listening to rap music 24/7. I just like gradually got deeper and deeper into it. And then I was just like downtown LA running a bike shop, and like because we just started a bike shop there in like 2013 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it just so happens that like SoundCloud rap was basically like happening all around there. So there's just all these rappers like stopping by the shop and shit, because downtown LA is like one of the cheapest places you can live in LA. So it's like I was just meeting all these rappers, and that just sort of like led to me doing interviews with them just because I was already doing BMX interviews, and then that sort of just like snowballed. It was kind of intentional that I wanted to start a podcast, but it being so hip hop focused was definitely not like my original intention. It just sort of like worked out that I knew a lot more about it than anything else. Really.
Yeah, you said you followed like Nah Rights and Two Dope Boys and like these type of like successful rap blogs before that. What made you want to like kind of focus on the? I mean, because you attract a certain type of artists for your shit, right? So
I mean, I was just friends with a few different people that were in that sort of like Florida, like post Raider Clan era of like, you know, Xavier Wolf and Bones and Puya and Rob Banks and all these different types of dudes who are sort of like the predecessors to like X and Lil Pump and Smoke Perp and all that shit. Like they sort of like were the generation of like SoundCloud rappers before that. And I was like cool with all them. So it just so happened that like when all these young kids start getting into the rap game, they're sort of like looking at me as like the only one that's maybe interested in interviewing them, because the mainstream like rap world hadn't necessarily sort of caught up to the idea that you want to be doing content with the dope new rappers that are just now popping up. You could probably get more views doing an interview with some kid who got face tattoos and green hair who just popped up 2 weeks ago that people are interested in than, you know, a fucking like I would love to do a T.I. interview, but I'll probably get more views doing an interview with some fucking green haired little freak.
Because those kids that are watching don't care about T.I. the way they care about this green little hair.
Also, there's just more supply of T.I.
And it's new, right? If you're a T.I. fan, there's a million fucking T.I. interviews. He got his own podcast, you know? And I say that as someone who, like, on a personal level, I would way rather interview T.I. than, like, tomorrow's flavor of the week.
I mean, that's kind of what I was trying to get into. I just did a panel with the Rolling Loud guys with, like, Tarek and Zach and those dudes. And they kind of have, like, a similar story where, like, they were cool with the South Florida dudes and, you know, that's just who they were around. So, you know, a lot of times that's what kind of helped them blow up.
Yeah. But I was looking at their list of all the flyers, like, everything they ever did, and, like, the first Rolling Loud with, like, Schoolboy Q headlining, and it's like not that many like big artists on it. It was very chill in comparison to what they've built it up to. It's actually insane.
Now, I mean, like, you know, with these artists, you know, a lot of times when they go on your show, they're kind of talking about illegal shit, like talking about stuff that would definitely get them in trouble. Like, you don't ever feel like that's kind of like exploitive of,
I mean,
I feel like, especially these kids are barely 16, 15 years old. And
I feel like for the most part, it's like we're not really putting out anything that's going to get them in trouble or whatever. There's definitely been times, like, I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, I did a vlog with Stupid Young, who's this Cambodian rapper from Long Beach, and we just went out and vlogged all day, and like he at one point sees like a machine gun sitting there in this fucking garage that is like broken. It's like it's just like a machine gun that's sitting there. I don't know. I guess they just have machine guns, these Cambodian guys. And so he just picks it up and points at the camera and goes, "Rah, rah," like whatever, like that. He caught a charge from it because he's a fucking felon and he's not allowed to be handling firearms at all, including for that second. I would have definitely not put that in the video if I knew that.
That's what I was about to ask. It's like, you know, if you're doing this show and like you're very well aware of like hip hop cops and like people that see all this shit and they know you have one of the more popular shows.
He wasn't mad about it, to be honest, because he knew that he should have been smarter to not pick that up and do it on camera, you know? And he also knew that I would have took it out if he had mentioned it, you know? It's like that, because that does happen. Like just the other day, somebody said something like mildly homophobic on the podcast, and like he hit me up afterwards and was like, "Yo, like you think that shit sounded weird?" And I had already like removed it. Like I already told my guy to remove it because I was like, I know that he doesn't know how weird that sounded, and I don't feel like dragging him through that, you know? And it's like, I feel like the main thing is like, if somebody has an open case, then it's like you have to be really, really considerate of that, especially. And also, it's like if the person is not necessarily like smart enough to realize the negative implications that are gonna, or the ramifications that are gonna have on their career if they say a certain thing, it is kind of like on me at a certain point. But then again, it's like I really only interview so many. Like interviewing like 16-year-old kids that just straight up like don't know any better is like a small part of my thing. And most like young kids like that.
How fucking annoying is it?
That's what I was gonna say.
Let's be honest.
Like work. That's what my first thought was. You said I would rather interview T.I. And I was like, so you're interviewing these kids. That seems like work. Why would you do work when all we're trying to do is not work here, essentially?
Well, I mean, I just interviewed Lil Tecca, who's like, or like a couple months ago, but like he's like one of the biggest new artists of the year. It's like my audience straight up like wants me to do that interview because they want to hear what he has to say, and they also want me to be the one to do it because I feel like if Lil Tecca goes in and does an interview with Ebro, it's going to be a lot of like,
it's very different.
Wow, you're like a kid. This is crazy. Like,
okay, here's another question I have. It's like every once in a while you come across a teen that happens to be a superstar, right?
Yeah.
X being one of them. Did you know it instantly when you're sitting down for the interview? Did you know instantly this kid had a magnetism that few people in the world have, just a gravity that just brought everything around him
My
closer?
thing is, I like knowing what I know now. I definitely think I would have been able to be smart enough to say like, so you have a record deal, you have a manager, you got anything like going on, and try to like help lead him in the right direction. At that time, I was still kind of too green to it. That my only like thought was like, oh, like he's dope. Like actually, I think that kid's a star. Like I'm glad we did the interview. I'll probably stay in touch with him. But at that time, I like wasn't like with it enough to really like try to harness it.
So you didn't know he was going to blow up?
You know, I thought his shit was dope, but I also thought it was too abrasive and sort of like noisy to necessarily have a super mainstream audience, you know? Because at that point, most of his shit really was in that vein. And then all of a sudden, like a year later, he's got like a #1 album that is like a fucking campfire album. You know, it's like he completely went and like, and even that, when I heard that album, I'm like, man, I'm so glad that he did this like beautiful artistic project that he's so passionate about, but I don't know that his fans are going to want to hear this.
And they loved it.
And I was so wrong.
They loved it.
Way more than they probably would have even gravitated towards some straight hip hop shit, to be real.
So I think to follow up, maybe this is what you were asking, but to follow up on that, when you sit down with these kids, do you feel the star quality is what I was like, are you like, oh shit, I can just feel like an aura. This kid is a star.
Sometimes.
Or do they just have fucking face tattoos and that's a weird thing?
But like Lil Tecca is like the most ordinary looking kid with braces, and I'm gonna be real. Like I thought, like, oh, he's got a hit song. That song's huge, but I didn't know that it was gonna be like top 10, like crazy long running hit smash song.
Yeah,
and I was also just kind of looking at him like, this kid's tight, but I didn't know. Like I don't really know why kids have gravitated towards him so much over the past. Or like Polo G is another dude that I interviewed like maybe 6 months ago, and his connection with the audience is insane. Like his streaming numbers are ridiculous. I really think he's good musically, but I mean, there's been a lot of artists that I thought were pretty fucking good musically that didn't take off. So it's like you can have a lot of faith in somebody,
but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're really going to take it the whole way, you know? And honestly, when you start like picking these dudes or like paying attention, like as an interviewer, I don't really have that much of an incentive to find out about somebody when they're 14, unless they have like a big song when they're 14. But somebody told me, they're like, yo, it's like you're a basketball scout, because, which is very topical for this, but he's like, you know, because in reality, it's like you're looking at these kids to try to identify the good things about them before they've even developed it enough that it's obvious to other people. It's like you could see a kid who's got like, you know, he's really tall and slender, muscular, he's got great ball control, whatever the fuck you guys talk about. It's kind of like that, where it's like with Lil Tecca, it's like I felt like he had a really, really good sense of melody. Felt like he was just like a cool kid. Did not know that people were going to gravitate him towards, like, because he doesn't have any kind of like crazy image or anything.
But you got to know with your audience and, you know, with the type of artists you attract, that, you know, you're more than a tastemaker. Like if somebody goes in your podcast, no matter what the fuck they're rapping about, talking about, they're gonna get some sort of bump, something significant.
But I feel like I can only shed light on what they're already doing, because if somebody's like hilarious and great on camera and they come do the podcast and they, you know, give a convincing endorsement of their music or whatever, then that could definitely help them blow up.
I think of it like a late night show where it's like I may not know about you, I may know that you have enough buzz to get my attention, but like if you kill it on Leno or fucking Fallon or some shit. Well, not Fallon, because, you know, but back in the day, if you killed on Leno and Letterman, oh, okay, I'm gonna go watch this guy's 1 hour stand up. I'm gonna go buy this guy's album. I'm gonna go do that. So you have to know with that sort of responsibility that you have, especially with these kids that are young and
it is a responsibility.
Really know
but I feel lucky to even like get to do that interview when I have like the dope new 15-year-old rapper on the podcast, because it is kind of absurd for me to be talking about somebody so much younger than me and everything, but at the same time, like I'm fighting to get that fucking interview. I'm fighting right now to get a fucking NLE Choppa interview, and it's just like the label's just being dickheads about it, and I talked to him and he wants to make it happen. We're just like going back and forth and shit. He's 16, but he's like one of the dopest guys out there. Like I wish I got that podcast 6 months ago. If I can get it now, that's still good. You know, just.
So wait, you'll get pushback from a label?
I mean, the label just always has them on these insane schedules that like they're just touring and recording or whatever.
They're not against it, they're just not available.
Yeah, I would say for the most part they're not against it. But also I do feel like the label sometimes, like there are artists that they want to like conserve their interviewing, because the truth is if you come out and just do 20 full-length fucking interviews, then you've blown the whole load. There's nothing left to give, you know? But if you come out and do one dope-ass podcast that becomes like the blueprint for your career and people keep going back to it or whatever, or if you're like Jay-Z's like the best dude to ever market himself through interviews, because every single time he did an interview, hit you some crazy shit, went viral about it, like made magazine tabloid headlines and shit like that. And he even said in the song, he's like, and my interviews are harder. It's like,
so he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, and in like the late 90s, which is crazy. Yeah, you know,
there's a video that you had out that I thought was quite hilarious and also frightening, of the guy pulling a gun on you during the interview. Yeah. Did you think when you were BMXing and then you transition to rap, were you like, there's no way this could be more dangerous?
Oh, man. I got to blow my nose. You see that booger just came out my nose.
Getting flashbacks, bro?
Yeah, no.
Surprise, Adam.
That did take me by surprise for real. That was.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, what's going through your mind?
What happened?
I thought that was staged.
No.
It looked like something you was kind of doing for clout.
No, I get that. It kind of looked like that, to be real. Like, I don't really blame people for thinking that, but what really happened was I was just doing that thing we were talking about, playing music in the back of the store, just chilling, and then all of a sudden, fucking, like, my guy went out to get the delivery, and then he comes back in, and when the doors cracked open for a second, this fucking kid just runs in with a mask on, and he fucking puts his gun in my face and says, "Give me all your fucking money, do you want to die, blah, blah, blah." And so my friend stands up and pulls his gun out and puts it to the fucking kid's head and doesn't shoot, but then just like smacks him in the side of the head with it and just proceeds to beat the dog shit out of him, knocks him out. And then we're like going through his pockets and shit, being like, who the fuck is this kid? We're like looking at all his shit. And like, we had to call the cops. The cops like, tried to convince us that they didn't need to come, and we were like,
Wait, what do you mean?
like these lazy fucking cops were just like, they're like, but you already handled the situation, and we're like, yeah, we handled it, but we have an unconscious
Welcome to
Filipino
being
child
black,
in
bro.
our store, right? And like, there's a gun. Like, what am I supposed to do with this gun? I feel like if I throw this gun away, that's definitely not a good idea.
Yeah, you don't want your prints on the gun at all.
Nah, and it was a fake gun too. It was like a prop gun.
It was a
fake
prop
gun?
Yeah,
Shit.
So he almost got killed for real
Yeah.
off a prank.
yeah.
Did he say why he was doing it? Did you get to talk to him after?
We don't know. And actually, the other day I went to fucking court and was like around him. I'm sitting like fucking 3 feet away from this kid, and I only went into court because I actually wanted to like figure out what the fuck the deal was, like why this kid felt the need to do that. Because I mean, it's a fake gun, so it's like, I guess he probably knew that, you know, he wasn't gonna like get a W in this situation, since it's like at the end of the day he knows there's a bunch of people there. You're gonna get beat up since you have a fake gun that you're not gonna be able to shoot, unless he thought he was gonna take everybody hostage.
That'd be hilarious.
Which maybe in his fucking stupid ass brain he actually did.
I mean,
think
that's
that.
major cloud points. If he robs all of you with a fake gun,
Yeah.
oh, dude,
Imagine he had us hostage for a
That's how
couple
Tony
hours. That
Soprano
would have been
made
a
his mark.
story.
is that right?
He robbed a bunch of mob bosses, I think. That's how he
But with a fake gun,
I don't know if it was a fake gun,
not
but
even Tony could pull that off.
I gotta rewatch that.
was
shit.
that John Q? Is that the movie?
Oh yeah,
Denzel
John
Washington.
Q, the beast. So it's a weird situation where like I feel like you're one of the most accessible, famous people. Do you get scared about that? And let me just clarify to anybody listening: you have this store still that's on Melrose
Yeah,
that you're at probably daily when you're in LA.
yeah.
You're like a white Nipsey Hussle. Come see me at my stores. I'm out here for you.
That's actually funny. 'cause-
Melrose instead of Crenshaw.
Bro,
It's
in
very
the
just
whole time
white
since
Nipsey.
Nipsey passed, I never thought
Nipsey
about it
Hussle.
like that at all. That's fucking funny.
Dude, it might
Yeah.
be it. You're not worried that people are going to come for you? People are going to try to rob you?
I mean, I just feel like I refuse to like really fundamentally like change my lifestyle just because of the rare occasion that somebody's gonna want to do something to me. So like at the store, yeah, we do have security, and like realistically, it's like I have friends who have weapons on them and shit like that. But I'm just not gonna live my life like a fucking pussy just because of the off chance that somebody's gonna want to do something to me because I'm famous or whatever. Like I'm not. I just don't fucking care. Like I'll handle that situation if it happens. You know, it's like I've been walking around in the city all day taking pictures. Like me and Dave were just talking about that. Like, ain't nobody gonna do anything. There ain't no tough dudes out here. We're walking around Times Square. Like, what the fuck? People are selling
Well, not
CDs
Times
and
Square,
shit. You know, it's like we're in Central Park and shit. It's like it's not like I'm walking
You're
around.
thugging it out in the most populated place in the world.
But I'm gonna be real with you is that like I like my whole like 20s was spent like fucking riding my bike in like Brownsville and fucking all these different parts of New York and shit. And like as a kid, like we were always like in terrible neighborhoods with expensive camera equipment,
Right.
and just kind of got some like weird level of respect from the average dude who's in the projects that they're not going to take this camera
They were
from
going
you.
to wait for you to fall off the bike and then they'd rob you.
Listen, I know plenty of people
Possibly
got
concuss you,
robbed,
right?
so it's
You're
not
gonna
like it
concuss
doesn't
yourself.
happen,
Yeah.
but it just never happened to me, and I never fucking walked around like, oh, I'm gonna just completely avoid this situation because it's risky. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm gonna just fucking live my life, and if I get my shit took or somebody want to beat me up, it's like, all right, you caught me slipping.
Now
Whatever.
back to like your content a little bit. Like you call, like a lot of people call you a culture vulture. I was one of them for a long time, and
nice.
you know, you said like you want to interview like the TIs of the world, like the people like the music that you listen to yourself. So like you have this audience, you've built up this massive fan base. Like if these are the people that you want to talk to, why not just talk to them instead of doing this?
I do it all.
Okay.
I mean, I like interview.
I know you interview like people from all walks of life as well, but like,
for me,
why
it's
not
like
put more
I
focus on
can
that?
interview Selena Powell and get a bunch of crazy ass ratchet stories about her robbing rappers and shit, and then I can interview fucking I had Trey the Truth on the other day, and I had Ryan Holiday, who's like you know him,
Yeah.
fire author.
Yeah.
He's I had
What's
him
your
on the
take
other
on
day.
Ryan?
I like him a lot. He's like one of my favorite people for sure.
You don't think it's...
You kind of look like a bizarre version of him.
well, we just had
Funnier
him on
version.
Idiots. We just had him on Idiots, and I thought he was an interesting guy. He's a good guy. He's one of these guys that kind of takes Eastern philosophy and like blends it into like inspirational like literature, right?
Who's the guy that? There was another guy that did that like 10 years ago.
All of them do.
Malcolm Gladwell.
Well,
No.
but
Caldwell?
the what's it called? What the
Your
fuck's
mom
the
used
guy?
to read him, I think.
Deepak Chopra.
No.
No, the guy who has a book where fuck is always in the title in some way.
Fuck. I know Charlamagne posted a book like.
Yeah, we had him on as well.
Art of not giving a
Subtle art of not giving a fuck.
Subtle art of not
Yeah,
giving
who
a
was it,
fuck. And there's another one.
I forget his
We
name.
had him on the podcast too. Great guys, nice guy.
Yeah.
Ryan, nice guy. My one hesitation with Ryan was when I saw him wearing an Iron Maiden T-shirt.
He was talking about that with me. He said it's his favorite
Jordans.
band for like 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay,
Which is
I
good
buy it.
because I don't want to see Ryan Holiday rocking an ironic band shirt. Like,
It's like when Aziz had the Metallica shirt on
like, come
first
on,
class. I was like,
son.
really, bro?
Like-
Name 6
Really?
Metallica songs, dog.
Oh,
I
that's
need you
so
to name
good.
6. You know, like
listen, like you're
if
allowed
he's
to rock that
about
once in a
Iron
while, but
Maiden, I'm with it. But if it was part of like, I'm going to the Breakfast Club and Brilliant Idiots, and I want to have a look that is endearing to this audience. This is a marketing guy. You know, that's his background before the literature. And I'm like, is he really about this, or did he notice a white space in the market and he's smart enough to seize it and give these people the inspiration and motivation that they need in a digestible form based on this Eastern philosophy? Because my favorite thing about like the Eastern philosophy motivation shit is we really act like in the East they're all calm and chilling. It's like, ask the Chinese if the Japanese were really calm when they raped them and killed them. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if the whole East is really the most easy place. Like rape is pretty popular in India.
but you know
what I mean? I don't think they're out here just meditating all the time.
But Ryan Holiday's whole thing is that he like just will straight up hit you with anecdotes about fucking JFK and then about some band and then about something that some Stoic philosopher said. Is that he basically will just like decide that this is the point he wants to make, and then he compiles like evidence of this from like a period of thousands and thousands of years. And that is what I find kind of interesting about it, is just because he's got a very orderly brain that he's sort of organized.
And
all
Rand
of this,
accepting
you
it.
know?
I was unimpressed, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. We were in
He
the
been
condo.
holding in this whole time.
Yeah, bro.
I seen you
It
stirring
breaks
just
my
now.
heart
I'm
to
like,
say
really?
it because I know how much Charlotte loves him, and he's a sweet guy. But I'm sitting there with him, and it's like, are you really going to tell me to focus on the now?
Right.
You needed a whole book to say focus on the now.
I
You're
get
not
that.
wrong.
I feel you.
Don't get me wrong. Like there's value to a messenger, meaning the way, here's a perfect example, the way X communicated to his fan base was different than the way you could be able to communicate to his fans, or I could communicate to his fans. Same thing with Pac, and the same thing with, you know, Jay, the same thing with Jordan Peterson, the same thing with maybe Sam Harris a little bit, though he's kind of whatever. But like there's ways that people communicate, and there are mouths that need to be fed with that information. When I sat down, I wasn't blown away like I have been when I sat down with certain people.
No, but I get it that you're such a sarcastic piece of shit that it's impossible for you, and I'm completely in the same boat. It's impossible for you to imagine making a book and putting it out there with the book being just completely sincere, positive motivation and inspiration for people who maybe don't have their lives together.
Yeah.
Because I
Don't buy it.
completely understand where you're coming from, because I'm somebody who really kind of has my life together, and I don't really need any motivational fucking books. And when I'm reading Ryan Holiday shit, it's like I understand.
You just confirm
It's kind
that's
of
how
aimed
you-
at a different audience
No,
in a lot of ways.
You read it, you motherfucker. You narcissistic fuck. You read it so you could go, I do be doing that. Hey, I do be thinking to myself
Like, oh,
every
positive,
day.
right, that's right.
And I do be grateful and shit. I don't really know how this life works.
But there was a time period in my life where I straight up needed to hear that kind of shit. And I'm also going to say, like, his new book is called The Stillness.
Yeah, we had him on it.
And a lot of it is sort of emphasizing, like, you know, you don't need to be on Twitter 24/7. Think about, like, what you actually, like, allocate time in your brain towards.
Yes.
And, I mean, even as much as that is a fucking dead horse that's kind of being beaten, it's like it is still a point that needs to be made, because even the most basic, like, positive advice, we still kind of need it, no matter how completely blackened our souls are. You're like, if Ryan Holiday is the angel on the shoulder, and then you're the fucking devil over
I
here in
think
the
he's just
red hoodie,
skeptical.
your image is
Yeah,
on
I was about to say,
point
I
for it, too.
don't think it's super darkness. He just has an extreme
just-
skepticism on every
I'm
single
very
I get
thing.
similar.
that. I get
I'm
that.
very similar.
I
I
am
think as a
skeptical,
comic,
bro.
that's like a
We-
required
we- yeah, we
personality
tend
to
trait,
be-
you know?
Yes.
Whatever
as,
you're
as
saying
comics,
is
they got to question everything. Everything that's like the status
modern day
quo.
Socrates. All
Like
of
I
us.
had that, like I was talking to that Weinstein guy, you know, Eric Weinstein,
I was,
and he got
That's not the
Like
Weinstein. I
Harvey?
thought you were talking about son.
I was about to say,
I do
like,
know
what is he
Weinstein.
talking to that
I was talking
motherfucker?
about that Weinstein
I
guy.
know,
he was on.
And how to do auditions, and like he had a completely different perspective on how to do it. No, so I was talking to him, and like he got upset at me because I was like teasing him on the fighter and the kid, but it was like I just love these guys. I find them so funny. These like free speech guys. These guys who like it's all about free speech and freedom of ideas and all this kind of stuff. But they're like very specific with the ideas that are supposed to be free. And then I research all these guys, and they'll have some like billionaire backer who really tells them what the fuck to say. And it's like,
Really?
you don't have free speech.
Do you think Eric got one of them?
Peter Thiel.
He's
That's
backing?
Daddy.
Really?
Yes, bro.
Ooh, I gotta look into that. I
Oh,
didn't know
come
that.
on, dude.
Really?
You think you really get paid to think? This shit ain't Rome.
I mean, look, what are we doing right now?
We paying.
We're saying it.
BlueChew.com.
We got
we
ads,
selling
bro.
boners, dog.
Yo, you
This
want to
shit
do a
is-
line right
we
now?
got
I'm on that
Patreons.
too.
Like, come
We want
on,
to do a
man.
line of Blue
One
Chews.
to one.
Yo, but you need that for your fucking sex drive.
my dick game Diesel.
So-
No, but that's the thing that drives me insane about like. As a person who's always just been sort of paying attention to like BMX, skateboarding, music, online, that was my main thing. I always was kind of like, sort of interested in politics, but never like fully got into like
Peripherally interested,
reading
yes.
CNN.com every day or whatever.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, sort of the whole Trump thing has sort of thrust us all into the political spectrum.
Yeah.
And now I pay a lot more attention to like independent sort of like, political pundits on YouTube and stuff like that. And I kind of like always like assumed in my mind that like the level of discourse would be a lot higher than it is in hip hop and stuff in terms of like intelligence and stuff. I really do not find that at all because to be honest, like so many of these YouTube dudes who just talk about politics make fucking videos every day talking about the exact same shit and how the Democrats are fucking the
You understand when you're talking to hip hop people, you especially are interviewing people who are successful at a thing. When you're talking to political pundits, you're talking to critics who have never made a thing.
But I
they're
feel
just
like-
watching
I feel like
and
the-
having an opinion and calling themselves a pundit on YouTube
Right.
where there's no need for any I'm a pundit on where the fuck I want to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
The people I know who like write about music are like a million times more interesting than like anyone that I know who talks about politics. It's just such a boring fucking conversation for the average person. They're just like incentivized to
I would
make
guess-
videos over and over and over saying the same shit.
I would guess the level of discourse, intelligence-wise, has plummeted since Trump got in office. Because now all you got to do is say, "Oh, he's so hateful. How can he say this? Oh, he's the guy that speaks for us." On both sides, it's just the dumbest people
boring
saying
as
the most
fuck, to
obvious
be
things.
honest.
It's obvious. It's awful.
Yeah,
I
but you
just-
got to admit the way that politicians talk to each other now is kind of lit.
Oh yeah.
They are going in like it's bars.
Yo,
In a lot of ways, he's
The only way
Jokes.
politics.
discourse, but
roast.
it's a lot more entertaining.
Way
now,
more-
you know?
dude,
Somebody said the way we're gonna decide a president next year is like who has
Roast
like
battle.
roast battle. Like whoever has like the best like Twitter clapbacks and shit.
Son,
Like
I
I'm
got
not gonna
caught.
sit through 2 hours of a debate, but if Kamala Harris like makes fun of Trump, like oh shit,
Oh, that's what we
got
waiting
my
for.
vote. Like
I'm
that's
waiting
where
for
we're at.
when he calls Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas to her face.
Yo,
I'm
that's
waiting
Warren
for
G.
when
That's
he
not Elizabeth Warren. That's
literally-
Warren G.
That's Warren G.
That's
Well,
Warren
I
G.
want- I want him to show up to the debate with the same amount of like necklaces and shells that the colonizers gave the Native Americans from Manhattan.
And that's,
like-
the shit that's the shit that fucks me up because it's
Yeah.
like
just gives her a feather.
you can't play his game, bro. Like,
But they
you
trying
can't-
to.
That's what I'm saying. You trying to like insult motherfuckers. Like,
Did you
that
see
is
the
Trump's.
Elizabeth
I
that's
think,
Warren
I think
shit?
Warren could get in there better than the rest of them.
But did you see the what?
Nah,
Yo,
bro.
so she had an interesting
You can't
clip
go lower than
that
that
I got.
motherfucker, bro.
That's why we need
That I got
Andrew Yang.
caught
He'll
on.
cook Trump.
Nah, he not. He
No?
not. You think right now with this whole China ordeal?
Yo, Andrew ain't cooking nothing.
You think right now with this whole China ordeal, we're ready for Andrew Yang to be president?
That's a good point.
China
I don't know.
bodying the NBA, China bodying LeBron,
That
trying to
shit's fucked
bodying
up.
all of our heroes.
That's something we could talk about.
Yo, real talk.
mean, we can
FA
talk
said
about
something
it.
real funny. He was like, I bet you the most searched porn topic is like Chinese on black.
Probably doesn't exist.
Probably
Like it probably
Never
doesn't
seen
exist, to be honest.
If I walk outside and I
If
see
it's
a
on
fucking
black,
an Asian dude holding hands with a black chick, don't you think that we would all be like,
Oh yeah, that's
Every time.
No, that's her sensei, bro.
God damn. Braun had a rough week.
No, we're not gonna talk. We'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
we're
We'll talk about that later with people who know about
that's your
sports.
meal ticket?
Yeah.
So we have a. Oh no, we come hard at Bronny, but
It's one
Okay,
of my
so-
meal tickets, so.
that's his.
You can't just NBA. You're a shill.
Oh, no.
Nah, we go hard.
Go hard on that,
We go very hard. But it's just one of those discussions where, since you don't give a fuck
big.
about basketball, it doesn't matter.
No, you're right.
And I'd rather talk to you about this
Pussy.
pornography thing that you do, because you're in pornography. We just had Jessa Rhodes on last week. Do you know her?
I do. Yeah, she's tight.
Yo, she's very cool.
I don't know
Cool
her in real
people.
life, but I've
Cool
seen her
people.
work. Yeah.
You've seen
Cool
her
as
work.
hell, man.
I haven't seen much
I
work.
still haven't seen the work.
Is she very good?
I think she's.
How is she rated amongst the porn community?
I don't know about her rating, but I think she's well respected in the field.
She's an artist.
A lot of these girls really do take a lot of pride in their fucking like that.
They should.
Really?
Oh yeah,
They absolutely should.
They're super competitive with it, and I'll hear them talk about other girls and be like, "Oh, I can't believe she got this award. She doesn't even know how to fuck."
Okay, question. I need you to shed some light on this situation. We had a porn star on here named Sylvia Sage, right? She spoke about another porn star on a podcast and said that porn star had kids.
Okay.
I'm not gonna mention her name. That porn star reaches out to me, and I get this long DM like, she mistakenly said that I had kids. How could she do this? You don't understand the people that follow us. They could put my kids in danger. Can you please edit the podcast and get that out of here? I hope that you put my kids' safety in front of your thirst for clicks or views or whatever. I write back, hey, absolutely. No.
Hey, fuck yourself.
That would go through my head. I'm just responding like, nah.
Like, you're right. I do need these clicks.
So I write back, I go, because I had a little theory, right? I write back, I go, hey, absolutely. Tell me what times in the podcast you would like taken down, and I'll do it right away. She sees the DM, never writes back. I knew if she had to do even the tiniest bit of work to protect her kids, whatever bullshit fucking reason that she gave, that she wasn't going to do it. Never heard back from her again. My theory is it had nothing to do with her kid's safety. It's that she doesn't want her fans knowing that she has kids because, let's be honest, no one's like, I want
Nobody
the porn
wants
star
that-
with a
that-
family. I want a
mental picture in
mom
their head.
who's breastfed
Gross.
Yeah.
and squeeze babies out.
The fans like the idea of the girl just being a total hoe, but I mean, at the same time, I know girls. You ever see Britannia187 on Instagram?
Yes,
No.
yes, I have.
She got the stupid fatty, but she's been with the same guy for 10 years, and she's got 2 kids, and it's so crazy because
She has the hoiest Instagram I've ever seen.
it's wild,
Yeah.
and then she'll just be like walking around a resort with her kids, and like
Amber Rose.
it's interesting because to me, I almost feel like it's weird. Like maybe you should have 2 different Instagrams for that, but I respect the fact that she actually just rocks with it on both ends, But I mean, this girl also like ate a hot dog like on her private snap.
Wow.
Yeah.
If that's side by side with the kids,
I'm not
that's
gonna lie.
weird.
Hold on. If you had to eat cum, wouldn't you prefer it to be mixed with a hot dog instead
the
of
food?
just take it straight to your mouth and swallow?
What
a lot of
about a
different food.
Caesar side salad where you don't really know? You don't really know.
I like how you made a side salad like the small
'Cause,
portion.
I thought this too. If it's a big ass
Just mix
salad,
it
there's a
up.
lot of bites, yo.
I feel like if you had a banana split sitting right here and I nutting in it, you would not know
I would not know.
because it just
Yeah,
tastes so good that you just want to be able to
restaurants,
focus.
You never see Waiting? Remember that movie, Waiting?
Dude, there's no way a cook is whacking off
No,
into
no, no.
food because that takes a few minutes.
Well,
And you're in
not some
public.
people.
There's like waiters coming in. Like,
no,
where's
I-
my
Some
order?
motherfuckers are warmed up already. Like, you don't gotta.
I don't think it happens that often.
No,
I feel like you wouldn't
jerking
notice,
off
but I
into
feel like
food.
if I jerked off on that Cliff Bar, you'd notice.
Somebody, yes, yeah. Somebody
Honestly,
jerks off
let's
in your
find
food.
out.
I might not.
You've earned it.
Honestly, I had one of those.
It
the other
looks
day. It was
jerked
pretty
off on already.
good. Peanut butter and
It's
honey.
glazed.
Give it a shot.
Look, my point is there's probably something else going on that she cared about. She gave me this whole fucking sob story about her kids to guilt me into it.
Yeah.
But if she really cared about kids, wouldn't she look at the podcast and look at the times?
That's crazy to me.
Right?
She just didn't even take the extra effort. Like you make it out like it's such a big deal.
You
And
know her, by the way.
For real?
But I don't say. But you know her, and you could probably put it together.
Kids.
Damn, I don't even remember.
I don't remember either. but
We'll talk after. Because I don't want to give any more shine.
They probably don't tell me they got kids either.
Oh, so you might not know.
I don't know. I probably know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. So your girl does all this private Snapchat shit. She lets you fuck other people, right? Here's the thing. You guys fuck people together. She's into it. Doesn't that take away some of the fun? Like, way to ruin a threesome, you being all willing and like getting equal value out of this as me. Wouldn't you rather her like reluctantly eat the pussy and it's just something that you get to do, not her like completely ignore you while she's eating the girl's pussy?
Listen, we've done threesomes.
Yeah. She gotta eat pussy with her fucking with her nose pitched and just the
Wow.
tip of her tongue like that. Like she's testing if a battery got juice. Like,
That would be hot.
Like that little kid with the pole that his tongue gets stuck on. What is that, Christmas Carol or some shit?
Christmas story.
Yeah.
Christmas story.
Doesn't it fuck it up a little bit?
But listen, I've done threesomes with her where she was like maybe not that excited about it.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of like, oh, let's like go hook up with her or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not really like worth doing it unless the girl's like sincerely excited about it, because if they're sort of like reluctantly doing it, it's just not like the kind.
It's not gonna work.
Not the kind of thing you want to do reluctantly. Like,
yeah,
you
never
know?
want to have sex reluctantly.
No, yeah,
That's
yeah.
never fun.
Yeah. If you're not 100% sold on the idea, for sure. Yeah.
Adam with some bars.
It's the kind of thing where it's
fuck
just
girls who are reluctant.
it just doesn't really. No, but like if the other girl wants
doesn't
to do
really
it,
make them jump.
Did you
out
read
the
that in
bones
Ryan
like that.
Holiday's latest book?
no, but the thing for me is
What a
that it's like
breakthrough we just
is that
had.
my girl will do it if she
Consensual
can
sex.
tell I want to do it, but she'll just do it because she's just mad
She's
nice.
doing it for you.
Yeah.
Like how we fuck our
but
girlfriends.
that's not really great.
Y'all really need some dick again? Didn't we just fuck?
God
Didn't
damn.
we? This is how I always feel. Didn't we just fuck? We just fucked. Didn't we? How the hell could you fuck? Like, I'll be honest, when I was younger, I would have envied your sexual lifestyle.
Right.
That shit gives me crippling anxiety.
Last time we
Thinking
did
you
the
have to
podcast, he
fuck
told me
that
he
much.
fucks once a
Something
week.
real ca- Yeah.
Now I'm up to 2, bro.
Boom.
Shouts to Blue Chew.
Talk to him.
Yo,
Talk
your
to
boy.
him.
Which is doubled your sexual appetite.
Go.
Yo, Andrew's so busy. He probably makes sure he does both in one night. He's like, I got shit to do
Knock
tomorrow.
this out. It's Monday. Monday's for dick.
You never nut twice in a night?
Nah.
Respect.
Nah.
one bad
That's
after this.
stupid.
Why?
Because I just nutted.
Yeah.
That's end of story.
Did she nut?
He nut.
He doesn't.
Look, it don't matter, bro.
That's her job, really. Hey,
No,
man,
no.
Personal problem.
I really do feel that way. If she doesn't nut, yeah, you have a gripe.
Yeah.
But if I nutted, right,
not
and
a
you
race, bro.
nutted, what's the deal? What are we trying to achieve? What is going on?
we trying to set personal records out here? For what?
It's like saying that you can only have so much fun, though. And I totally understand.
Let me ask you a question.
I can't only have so much fun. Be
You
honest.
just
with
have dinner, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, your girl's like, let's go have dinner again. What are you going to say?
Honestly, I have to space the intercourse out around my meals and my weed smoking because I like don't really want to be like dumb high. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I do.
Or
but
bloated and full.
Definitely
Depends.
that. Though.
Definitely
The
don't want to be full.
bloated and
fucking.
full is
That
just
sucks.
not.
How old
Hunger
are you?
fucks are the best.
How old are you?
35.
No, your girl.
No, I said, how old are you?
She's 28, but I'm 35.
It's just crazy, this life that we fucking carved out for ourselves. I just heard a 35-year-old man be like, I have to space my intercourse around meals and weed.
But usually I'm like,
I
at
want
the
to see
house.
how your whiteboard looks at home.
My
It's
dad,
like
my
2
dad heard
o'clock
that, he'd
lunch.
jump out a fucking
There you
window.
go.
That this is the field I entered.
You want to hear like the ultimate
He had a
predicament, though?
15-year-old son. He had a mortgage.
At 35, he had
So he's thinking about college tuition
I gotta space out my pussy. I really gotta space it out. I cannot.
around weed and junk food.
God damn it. I just realized how much I've let down my mom just about this entire conversation.
The stress. The stress levels.
Jeez.
That's why you okay getting a gun pulled on you. You're like, I deserve this.
Yeah.
And then he probably think about Andrew saying he gets anxiety about fucking. He's like, you don't know anxiety.
Yo, this is the thing,
Fucking,
though.
I gotta smoke weed later.
Like I'm at work, like chilling, like on stream for like 8 hours, smoking hella weed, and then I get home and my girl's been on cam for 2 hours, fingering herself and like getting all turned on. She got her
she's
makeup
ready.
done. She got lingerie on, and then I come home and I'm like a fucking just skeleton of a man, just like. I lay down and she's all like, and I'm like, yeah, like,
God.
you know, I gotta like just either force my way through or have this weird moment where I'm like, but hey, I'm just not ready for it right now. man.
That's the thing. It's like when like soldiers came back from war back in the day in like World War II, and like the second they get back, the wife's all horny. It's like, all my friends died. Like, can you not consider
about
I have
me?
no fucking friends left anymore?
Yo, that's fucked up. You come home from war and she's not gonna let you fuck.
No, she is.
Oh,
she
yeah.
wants to fuck. That's
lot.
all she wants to do.
Oh, yeah,
but you're
yeah,
not trying to
yeah.
fuck because your friends are dead.
Oh no, I'm still trying to fuck.
You're not trying
This guy.
to get that PTSD stroke.
I got like a million friends that died. I'm still fucking. Bro. I'm not gonna let that bum me out.
Something that doesn't kill
No,
sex.
that shit kills me too. Though there was one time, I'm not gonna say his name. There's a rapper who I was supposed to
How
interview.
soon? No, how soon after X died did you fuck?
I think it's like an hour. Like, that's the homie, but I'm not gonna let him ruin my fucking life. You know, like, nah, I'm just kidding. It probably was like at least like a day or two. Nah, but
Stop lying.
there was this kid though
You
who
don't want that
said
Dina
there
Hashem
was a
smoke,
kid
yo.
who said he couldn't do the podcast like a month after X died because X died. I'm like, you never even met him. Like, you never even met him, and like we're partying. I'm like with his friends, like partying like a week later, and like we're talking about it still. Like, man, that shit sucks about everything, but it's like your life keeps moving on, and
Yes.
it's like this kid is just a fan, and he said he couldn't do the interview a month afterwards.
Can you say
No,
who
I'm
it
not gonna
was?
say his name because it's so fucking lame. He probably deny it.
Say
It's real though. I
Can
seen
you
that
say
email.
it?
It wasn't even him who said it. It was his manager. I'm like, so you told your manager that?
Or maybe his manager said it to get him out of it.
Yeah, that could be
Possible.
possible. But at the
More
end of the day,
logical.
too, it's like an interview that if I did it, it's like, whatever, who cares?
So then drop that name, bro.
Nah. I'm
All
gonna
right,
let him
fine.
live.
All right, fine.
Plus, those are the guys who get the most sensitive.
Because I feel bad for him that it's like he was that hurt by a rapper that he didn't even know dying. It's kind of sad. I still
Right.
feel bad for him.
He's
BlueChew.com.
living in the power of now, yo. You gotta let this man do his
Use
thing.
promo code NoJumper22 or something. I don't know. I forget.
Flagrant 2. Is that part one?
There's
God,
got to
damn.
be a point of diminishing returns with the sex life.
Oh, yeah.
Does it lose its fucking luster? Like, I know it looks cool and everything like that, and I'm sure the first few years it was fun, but eventually, like, when you have the porn stars and shit come over and hang out, like, after you guys fuck, you guys gotta, like, talk and shit a little bit.
That's why I got the girl there.
So she does,
She does
all
the
the
talking
talking.
for you.
Yo, because here's the thing,
They
Lena's
smoke a lot of
smart.
weed.
Lena's smart and she's interesting, and I've enjoyed my interactions with Lena.
I appreciate that.
How could
a lot of
she-
people don't give her the benefit of the doubt that she has something going on upstairs.
Of course, because they just
She
see it.
graduated college, unlike myself.
Oh, damn,
Oh, damn.
bro.
No.
Damn, we got a smart one. That's what's up.
Damn, way to waste a degree. She could have been on camp in college. She
I was about to
wasted
say, what
4
was her
years of her
major,
prime,
bro?
son. What the fuck? She's Shane Battier out here? What?
She went to school for
She
like
sat out
some
the whole
dandy
barely legal
grades,
market.
Shit with
Yeah,
like
she
child
did.
like
School for 4
nurturing and
years.
shit. Some
She went from barely legal to very legal. That's the whole.
No, but like her
Whole
degree, she
income
wouldn't even
bracket.
be able to like use it now because like it's like to work with kids and shit.
What was her? Oh, she was going to be a
It's like
teacher?
to deal with like autistic kids and shit like that.
Well, now
so,
she gets to talk to porn stars. So.
She got an
She's
autistic
trained.
bro. This is autistic adults now.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you don't think you're Asperger's?
No, but she
Please
she,
don't
she
tell me
thinks
you're on
I
the
have
spectrum.
like I'm autistic.
Your Asperger's is like the light autism. It's
Extreme
like Coke
version.
Zero of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
No, it's
It's
Coke
Right.
Zero.
Asperger's
Nutra
is
Sweet, yeah.
the next level Mark Zuckerberg shit. Yeah.
No, it's under. Autism is
really?
worse. Asperger's is functional.
Well, I'm on the spectrum. That's all I know.
You really think? No.
I don't know. I got a weird like time like relating to other human beings. I feel like I definitely got like a weird divide between like my ability to communicate with people. I don't know. I gotta look into it.
You
more.
literally
You
talk
can't
to
just
people
be
for a
socially
living.
awkward.
Yeah, what happened to socially awkward?
Yeah, what is that?
I
We
think
always
I
gotta
lack.
be
I
Asperger's.
think I lack empathy. Like I think if I saw somebody get hit by a car and die, that is just I'm not even gonna be thinking about it 5
You'd be
minutes
busy
later.
jerking off trying to fuck
Yeah,
your
he
girl.
literally just talked
Smoke
about
some weed.
somebody died and fucking like an hour later. Like I think it's all right.
That's my favorite thing. Like back when Facebook was popping, I guess you see it a little bit with Instagram. Was I would see how long people would put the dead person's picture as their avi, and I would time how long it took for them to not give a fuck about that person anymore.
Yeah.
Like it was so beautiful because you have to
But
make the decision.
what's the acceptable time limit on that though?
No,
I
just
used to do that with the stand with, like the flag, the rainbow flag,
Yes,
Abby.
yeah.
How
I
long
do
do
it
you
with
give
like
a fuck
the
about
new
this?
Rick Ross album cover.
I do
Like me
that.
and everybody else in
Yeah.
MMG will all make that our profile photo. No, I'm just kidding. I hate when rappers do that. But like, and they make all their friends do it too. Like there's still mad people that have like the Thug album cover for their picture because they like hung out with
I
Thug
just
2
did that
times.
for the Wale album. That's my.
You did?
Yeah, that's one of my
See,
best.
that's lit.
one of my
but
good
that's his
friends.
boy.
Oh, Wale.
He
I
loves
just seen
him.
him the other day. He goes, hey, how's my favorite asshole doing? I'm like, damn. I'm like, you're an asshole. So if you think, I actually appreciate that.
Wait, why is Wale an
Thanks.
asshole? Tell us some good shit.
Not even in like I think he's an asshole. He's just kind of he's got a fucking personality that I'm sure a lot of people will call him an asshole. So him saying that to me, I was like, damn, that's
Is
an
he a
honor.
Why we get
curmudgeon?
along?
Nah, I think Wale gets a bad rap, honestly, for being like just because he's always kind of been the sort of dude who would just like rant about being underappreciated on Twitter and like that sort of thing that's like kind of like gonna make you not seem as likable. I feel like, but I think that actually, to be real, I feel like people don't even look at Wale like unlikable dude anymore.
Yeah,
He's
I think that narrative's kind of changed for him.
Like,
well,
that
once
was,
he
like,
went
the
indie,
story on him.
No, he's not indie, but I mean,
I thought he got dropped.
I mean, he left. He got dropped from Atlantic. He's on Warner now, and I think
He should go indie, dude. Indie, because then it would be justified the complaining. But I think when you're like have a big label and you have
Being indie
records
sounds good,
and do
it's not
those
the
things,
best.
I'm not saying it is good, but in terms of perspective, you could bitch if you have nothing. But if you have everything that everybody's ever dreamed about, and you're bitching, it's like, man, shut up.
Yeah, I mean,
We don't wanna hear that.
it's weird though. Like for certain artists, like I would never take that. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking effort. Especially if you've already made it, if you've already like kind of seen this level of success. If you come in the game indie and you stay indie, cool. That's good. Like that works for some people. But like if you've already had a certain level of success, like do you really want to go back to square one?
Yeah.
Not even at square one, you're like at square like -5.
Yeah.
You gotta like do all this extra shit because a label doesn't have your help. But no, I mean good for him, man. He's doing well. I'm supposed to have his crown right now, actually, with Elliot.
Oh, he's doing that. That's lit.
Adam, we don't want to take up all your time.
Oh no, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, then we will. We'll take up every single bit of your time. The latest book that you're reading.
Oh yeah, that Ryan Holiday book.
You are still reading it.
Yeah, I'm like halfway done. But besides that, oh dude, I read that fucking new Malcolm Gladwell book that I bought at the fucking airport because it was the only thing at the whole airport. It's kind of like a basic bitch thing to read, but I bought it just because it was the only thing in the airport. It wasn't like a full Hudson News. It was like a sliver of books.
What's this one about again? I don't be fucking.
A bunch of stupid shit that he could sort of string together and make a theme out of.
It's just a lot of theories that he pawns off as like facts without that much data.
And there's
you
always
see how Adam's critical of authors now?
all the yeah.
I mean, he don't want to look like a bitch, dog. He didn't say like one guy you shitted on him.
I'm more enthusiastic about Ryan Holiday than Malcolm, but I mean, I do think that he's dope. Like he's Gucci Mane's favorite author, so it's like whatever you read that Malcolm writes, you
love
know.
Gucci.
I do. That's
Love
my
Gucci.
guy.
I fuck with Malcolm. I really like Malcolm.
You do.
We had him on the podcast. I thought he was
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love to have him on the podcast.
Genuinely
As a dude,
intelligent.
Yeah. As a dude,
I
I
think
think
he's
he
a
seems tight. But
bright guy.
In terms of his books, sometimes
He knows what he's
it
doing.
Seems like a stretch about some. I don't know.
No, he knows
I
what
think
he's
it's a
doing.
stretch.
And
Yeah,
we asked
like-
him this. We were like, I was like, how much of what you say is wrong eventually?
Right.
And he goes, yeah, some of it. Like we find out new research, we find out new things. This is not the end all be all. This is just what we put together and put in the book.
That's real.
I mean,
the fact
real
that he was, like,
intelligence is
honest
knowing
about that
you
shit?
don't know everything.
Yeah, but when you write a book, you're basically saying, I know everything about this.
I think what annoys me is actually the people who accept it as fact right away, and it's
Yeah.
not him. Like 10,000 hours. Everybody's like, you gotta get your 10,000 out. Why is that a thing? Because
the
you read it in one
brilliance-
chapter of
why
one
is
book.
that
The brilliance
You
there is
fucking
that
retard. It's 4 pages.
he came up with like a thing that he could say that would actually get people excited about the idea of just working really hard at something for a really long time, which is
Yes.
not a glamorous
funny.
concept.
That's
But
funny.
he actually like branded it in a way that you said the 10,000 hour thing, and everybody here knows exactly what
It's
you meant.
branding. He's
You
got
know?
great job with the branding. There's but that's the thing, like branding works so well with these like tiny little tidbits of information. Like this girl was saying to me today on a podcast that the body is 70% water. She just says, she's like, yeah, you know, your body's 70% water. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
always
It's like
heard that.
5% water. What could be 70% water
I wanna
in our
fact
body?
check.
What the
a good
fuck?
question.
Let us know
When you're
what-
walking around, what is it?
No, your body is like
No,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
not.
that's
Listen,
fact, bro.
heard that.
blood has water in it, but blood is not water. Your skin probably has got some water in it, but it's not water.
so liquid.
So liquid is different, and even then, my bones make up way more.
Does it?
Son, that's the thing
Set
that
up.
people believe.
You
It's
don't
like
believe
the
in like
fact that
bone
there's
density and
Son
knowing
is.
that like how much water, how much things could store
Up to
moisture.
63%.
Yeah.
honestly 10% tops. I'm in that. I'm in that wholeheartedly. The other thing that there's the male G spot is in the asshole.
Yo, buy
Complete
that.
myth.
Oh, I
It's
like
a
that.
myth.
Totally good on that.
But everybody says this.
I've
They're
never
like,
tried-
the
I've
male
never
G
tried.
spot's in the asshole.
Yeah.
No, gay guys made that shit up so they could stick fingers in your fucking ass. Girls made it up so they could finger you in your ass and kind of like emasculate you.
Wage gap is a myth.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
we all know that.
Yeah.
But I asked this doctor about it, and I was like, yo, be honest with me. Pre-cum is a myth. But I was like, be honest with me. is the finger in the ass thing real? Like, can you touch the fucking what is it called?
What?
The I don't know.
Prostate?
The G-spot.
Prostate. Can you touch the prostate?
Why
and
is
then
the
you come?
prostate the G-spot?
Son, he goes, no, there's just some prostate juice that comes out of your dick. It's not an orgasm or anything. There's no even sperm in it. It's a complete fucking lie. And then he goes, some people like getting fingered in their ass, and maybe
Because
that
they like
helps them
getting
come,
fingered in their
but
ass.
it's not a button that you press. I'm like, of course it's not. People it's the 10,000 hours thing. They just make this shit up. It sounds good to share with your friends.
It's like how when anyone says like, "Oh, this is how you make a girl orgasm." It's every fucking girl is completely different in how they orgasm, and there's no way you could break it down that simple.
Right. You just tell them to hold their breath.
Forever.
And then when they go, oh, it's like, that felt good, right? That's an orgasm.
That's an orgasm.
That first breath where you didn't die.
No, when
that's
you're holding
coming.
your piss for an hour and a half on the highway or some shit, and then you finally piss, that's way better
That's
than any
way
nut.
better than a
always-
nut, yo.
yo.
That's
Son,
God level nut.
Fuck
Ain't
that.
nothing better than 35-year-olds talking about how sex is Sexation. A piss.
This is such a washed
held on the
convo.
high.
Oh, I could piss.
A well-timed bathroom break.
Ooh. Yo, you want to? Can I give y'all a little secret that's kind of disgusting about me?
What?
I kind of like it when someone shits in the toilet before me.
Wow. So,
All right, that was different.
Because
streaks,
or
or do you like
not?
it to be warmed up, or?
I like the warmth. I like the warmth, and I like the fact that the toilet seat is probably cleaned already. So now I just got to do a little one time.
Oh, it's all on his ass.
Oh, you
It's
assume
all-
that they're cleaning it?
that
Because if
ass
it was
just
me, I'm
absorbed-
not.
No, exactly.
I'm not cleaning that. I'm
Your
sitting down
butt
on
can't
pee.
absorb it. It's not like your butt is water or anything like that. It's not. Your butt is just gonna move it.
First off, you
The
know you're
pee?
not gonna know if the seat's warm until you're already sitting on it.
Yeah, but I could smell the aroma.
You
And I'm like,
can't
oh,
smell the
shit
warm-
was
That
just
That's
left in here.
fucking repulsive.
When you walk
yo.
into the bathroom, it
That's
smells like
fucking
somebody else's
repulsive.
shit.
And they're
It
like,
happened
oh,
to me
yeah.
today.
Worst part of
Citizens
your
of
day.
There's
Gramercy
the one wiper right here. and
made
just
eye
sit on it.
contact with the guy who took the shit before me. It was actually my waiter. I made eye contact with him.
Did he
I
wash his
saw.
hands?
I hope I didn't check, and I went and I took that shit immediately afterwards, and I'm okay with that. You don't have a bidet. You never took shits in Japan where the toilet seats are warm,
I didn't use the bidet.
but the
But
toilet
I've
seats
felt
warm.
the warm toilet seat for sure, dude. The other day I go to use the bathroom in the hallway outside my office, and it's like there's a bunch of other companies around there, so
Yeah.
it's like all these different companies using the same two bathrooms, and all the time I will bust out of my office and just walk right up and just fucking open the handle, but then once in a while it's locked. So it's like, oh, and then you it feels weird that you just like tried to open it that hard, like
Damn
you're trying
right.
to bust in on the person. The other day I had it happen for the first time where I just walked in, boom, it wasn't locked, opened it right up. Fucking dude just sitting there, just this white dude with his white dick, and I'm just like, turned right the fuck around and just like, I smelled his shit, I saw his dick, I
bro.
saw his shit.
Yeah, dog. That's better than sex.
That was that's better than a long held piss.
How was your sex drive after that?
that's
Turned up a
fuck,
notch?
bro.
Oh yeah. Fuck my girl for 3 hours when I got home. Off that ginger cock.
Will you let these girls put anything in your asshole?
Not anything in, but the other day I got my ass licked by my girl and another girl, and it got like 3 million views on Twitter in a couple days.
Wait a minute. The video
Wait, what?
is on Twitter.
The fuck just
they-
happened?
I said to him, like, I got home, like, it was in my calendar, like, you have to fuck me and this other girl, like, this day or whatever. So I show up,
As it should be.
I show up-
Because you would forget that.
and we're all just hanging out.
You have to put
Think out
that in
for
the calendar.
iCal, you know what
'cause
I
it
mean?
might
Forget,
slip
like,
your mind.
Well, because it's like I'm doing interviews. It's like for me to come home at
You have
6.
like the 30-minute reminder, like, oh, don't forget.
I'm not gonna forget to interview this 16-year-old with a face tattoo. But these two bitches don't want to fuck me.
I'm sitting in my car listening to like a New York Times podcast, like rush hour traffic, like wait for the threesome. But then I got in the house and like the other girl, I just ended up joking around with her. I'm like, oh, you guys want to go viral? You should both eat my ass. And then film me their iPhone and put it on Twitter. And they just were like, oh, great, let's do it. And they did it. And man, you know the fader?
You gotta know
They
if you
blocked
suggest.
They blocked you.
because of that. Well, it was the day it came out, so I got to assume that was it.
Yeah.
That was important. I'm like, damn, that's one of the most
You gotta
relevant
assume.
musical like magazine like print things. And they blocked me because I got my ass eaten.
Word to the wise, buddy. If you suggest to a porn star, hey, you should tape this sexual thing, they're probably not gonna think it's a joke. Like it might be a joke to you.
It wasn't a joke to me. I
But
was
to
hyped
them,
on
it's
it, yeah.
business.
I didn't really
Okay.
want to
Sound
get my
very
ass
serious,
eaten,
like,
but
yeah.
I was.
Who's the porn star?
It was my girl and this chick Emily Willis.
Emily Willis. Okay. Want to pull that up, Alex?
She looks pretty good. As a butt eater, I can say that.
Now,
she's
do you
doing-
let them penetrate?
No.
Do you wet wipe before?
Nah.
So you just go straight from LA traffic
Rush
ass.
hour
Nuggets.
traffic.
Rush hour
Straight
traffic
doo-doo
ass.
nuggets in the mouth.
And then right there.
One time, this really famous porn star ate my ass, like in a threesome with my girl, and like I had just been taking like a gnarly diarrhea shit like 15 minutes before, like drinking all day, that kind of shit.
This her?
This is our third from the other day. Yeah.
I got a little bit disgusted by that.
Is she Asian?
No.
Like Asianish?
She does look Asian-y.
She got turds on her breath. But you know what's so funny too is that she's like kind of seeing my homie who's like also a YouTuber, and she like just straight up like went over his crib right after she filmed the ass eating video and was kicking it with this dude that I'm like legitimately friends with. And what's even worse is that throughout that day, earlier that day, she had been getting piped by some fucking athlete on camera for a porn.
Really? So these girls like completely compartmentalize sex. Like sex means nothing to them. It's no different than shaking hands or something like that.
I mean, I think that she was fucking around with me for content. She was getting fucked on set for content, and then she was kicking it with my homie afterwards because she likes him.
But the
Well, that's
fact that
sweet.
she could do all those
Alex
things
just laughed
Yeah.
at the very
is because she
notion.
breaks it up.
Right, because the sex is whatever if you are just doing it because you're filming yourself or whatever. Like it feels very different when you're like fucking with like a camera there and stuff, in the sense that it's not like if you somehow had the luckiest night of your fucking life, it's not gonna happen. But if you came home with two girls from the bar,
Yeah.
and you actually fucked, I'm just kidding, I'm sure you do it all the time. But if you like came
All the
home
time.
and you actually had like
All
the
the time.
vibe going where they really wanted to fuck you, that's like a very like passion driven, crazy, emotional, carnal thing.
Yeah.
When you're just like all like meeting up and it's in the Google Calendar and you're like setting up lights and then you're all fucking and stuff, it feels great, but it's not like
Can you have to take a pill for that?
No.
If it's scheduled? Be honest.
no. But I mean,
You don't just take a pill
I've
anyway?
experimented with BlueChew.com,
Yeah.
but no, I don't do that.
Even the lights are up, the cameras, and you know you're performing. You don't want.
No, I mean I have a hard time not coming too fast because I'll just be like sawing away at one of them for like a minute or
Sawing.
two, and all of a sudden I'm like I got a nut, and then I'm like hold on, I'm like blowing on it. Hold on, gotta let it like cool off a little. I'll try to do a pregame. Like, I'll try to like jerk off like in the shower at the gym at noon so that I'll be like
That's the
on
pre and the
point
post.
for the 6 p.m.
That's the
the
championship.
game.
That
Really
really
game, bro. Fuck.
Looks like I got this W tonight, ladies.
You know you're gonna fuck some random hot chick. You gotta.
I don't clear the chamber.
You don't.
No.
Damn, you're a different man than me.
No, I just let her go on top. I mean, I got a girl now, but I just let her go on top, and then I work on my breathing. You know what I mean? I don't let her bounce on
mental.
it. She just
It's
got to
fucking
rock
mental.
on it. There are certain things I can like control myself.
No bounce, just rock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
the
a lo-
bounce will get me to
A,
nut.
a slow, long stroke, that's when.
Wait, when you're on top?
No, if I'm on top, a slow, long stroke,
Yeah.
45 seconds to a minute, I'm tapping. But anything else, I could go for whatever, like flip
Even from
it,
the
turn
back?
it, whatever from the back, anything. But if it's a slow, long joint,
Right.
I'm not lasting.
You want to know one thing that's really weird that I noticed about sex? That can last way longer in the butthole.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel good.
Well, because the butthole is
just
like
opens
this tight
up.
thing, and then it's sort of like an open like
Yeah,
chamber,
it's a
whereas
football.
My girl's pussy is like tight on the whole thing.
Because it's made for dicks.
That girl we were just looking at, me and my girl did a anal threesome with her for the camera before we did the vaginal threesome, and to be honest, like I was fucking like a pro, and I didn't really.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it was all butt. And
Yeah,
just-
it's not even close to the amount of friction. Dude, butt stuff sucks. I'll be honest with you. It really
with it.
sucks.
I gotta fuck my girl's butt soon. I owe her one. She's been telling me like you gotta fuck
She
my butt
really
lately.
wants that, dude?
Yeah, she's pissed that I ain't done it in a while.
I'm in awe of this guy's life. It just, literally just doesn't.
But are you
make
I'm
sense.
sitting there
envious
just
of it?
shocked.
Nah,
Like, oh.
it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm just blown away that this world existed. Like this, America really is the land of opportunity. Yo.
This is why your family came
Yo,
here,
real
Akaash.
talk, man.
Don't waste this opportunity. Don't waste their
No.
dream, dude.
The
You
American
think your
dream,
dad came here
Akaash.
so you could work for a
The
living?
American dream
Just
is butt
smoke,
stuff, bro.
fuck, and sleep, dude.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Sleep. No, that's the best. Like, because you know, like, think about every time in your life you've ever fucked a girl that you don't really give a fuck about.
Yep.
And then you got to act for like an hour or 2 hours, or however long until she leaves your home.
Yes.
Like when me and my girl have a girl over, like there's no pretense that I have to do that. Like I am rolling a blunt and watching a YouTube video within like 5
You're tapped
minutes
out
of the
completely.
intercourse, and they ain't saying shit to me. They're ignoring me. They're having like a regular girl conversation. They're talking about makeup and what they're gonna do the
But
next day. And
Lena
shit.
doesn't care. She's faking too. There's no way she's like inspired by those combos.
Probably. I mean, you got to bring yourself down a notch from time to time, probably. Because, I mean, she's doing porn with fucking 18-year-old chicks sometimes.
Yeah.
And she's way smarter than these motherfuckers.
I mean, she's 28. There's got to be like a different like level of like communication at a certain point. I think that's almost kind of.
That's why the R. Kelly shit pisses me off so much.
Wait, why?
Yeah.
When she's like, remember he's like, oh yeah, you don't have teenage friends. Like, what conversation could you have with a 17-year-old that's
I don't get that either.
all fucking entertaining or beneficial to you?
That's what this guy does for a living.
No, I'm kicking it with like a. Okay, yeah. You got
it.
That's like being a therapist. Doing the interviews like being a therapist, bro. You gotta like come
What are your
down.
dreams and
it's an interview,
aspirations?
bro.
How did that make you feel?
But I can't like when I hang out with like a 21-year-old chick and I'm just like, I can't do this. Like, this is just you never watched Seinfeld. Like I'm sorry, I'm just I can't. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's what Aziz went through too.
Yeah.
That's what he put on.
Damn.
That in that situation,
Dude, that was the moment that I liked Aziz more than any moment in his entire career. Is that he was getting head to Seinfeld.
you know, I really relate to that because I love when there's a good sitcom on while I'm fucking.
Yeah.
Like I love The Office, and like the other day, me and my girl
that
ended up fucking, and The Office was playing. Is the perfect thing to occupy the part of my brain
Yup.
that kind of gets bored when you're fucking.
Real Al, that's you?
So I have like Seinfeld, Office, any of those shows, and I know all the episodes. So it's like I'm just going through the episode while I'm
And
just
you
going
could
through the
mentally
motions.
time yourself. Like,
Oh, you know how long you lasted.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
getting
that's right.
22 minutes of this
Yeah.
dick. That's it.
Commercial break.
Yup.
No, that's really smart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you're
Wow.
fucking and you might feel like it's been a half hour, but it's been
ain't.
It's like,
7
oh,
minutes.
nah, it's only the second commercial break. There's at least 22
You got to
minutes.
put the cum in commercial, guys.
I'm gonna put the cum in commercial.
Just play it in my headphones. You won't even know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I feel like there's this. I don't know. Sometimes when I talk to like porn stars about sex, I'm like, yeah, you had some maybe fucked up shit happen in your life, and we've all had fucked up shit happen in our life, but I feel like they're almost like downplaying the importance of sex because it downplays the trauma of the experience that they had in their past.
Oh shit, that's bars, yo.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like if you were
100%.
raped, right? And like
You
sex
gotta take
is this,
the power away from it.
you take the power
It's
away
their
from
N-word.
it by just
You know what I mean? They just be using that shit mad casually.
They N-worded the fucking dick, dude. Wow.
I usually don't go there when I'm interviewing porn stars of like fully getting into the childhood trauma.
I'm gonna be honest. We've interviewed 3 porn stars. I asked all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like it makes a really dynamic part of the interview because we could talk to fuck shit forever. That's easy. But like when you go from why they cut themselves to how to bird bath, what is it called?
Bird feed.
Bird feed.
Yeah.
Or docking. Do you know what docking is?
Yeah, I duck.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I know what it is, though.
Son.
Oh, my God.
That's the most disturbing thing you said on the podcast. Are you sure you know what it is?
Out of everything you said.
Yeah,
dude.
Wow.
Demonetized. Dude, I got one with that me and you did demonetized. I think it was the first time that I ever got a podcast demonetized because we talked about terrorism.
What
Terrorism, Andrew.
Really?
Terrorism.
You can't even talk about terrorism?
Dude, I feel like that's like the #1 thing that will get you on YouTube.
Is that right?
They can tell that you're talking about that shit in the script.
Get the fuck out of here.
Thank you.
Really?
Anyway, look, Adam, thank you so much for coming by.
Man,
Please tell the people where they can find you, where they can see you.
NoJumper.com and Adam22 on social media. I just want to say that I did an interview with Combat Jack in here many years ago. And that I just remember that he was eating a salad, like grazing on a salad throughout the entire interview. And I had never eaten a salad like that. And that kind of like made me realize like, oh, you don't have to just rush through a salad.
That was your takeaway.
Combat Jack touched many
I love
lives.
combat, man. That dude.
He really.
I'm not gonna lie, you might be autistic, bro. I think you confirmed it for me right now.
That's a safe bet. That's a safe bet.
Speak to another man for an hour. The only thing pick up is how he deals with lettuce.
That was just like the physical element that impressed me. I don't know.
You're a strange man, yo. But you know what? I had my assumptions about you before this, but I'm glad this happened.
Appreciate
You're a
it.
lot. You know, it's better to talk. It's better to see people in their eyes and see what they talk about before making assumptions.
You know what? I follow Rory on Twitter now, so I've been like wondering what the fuck emotional oranges sound like. I'm probably gonna go find out tonight. I might have to go listen to that.
Yeah, Rory's
I honestly
my guy, man.
I've heard like the name like hundreds of times and never actually listened to it.
Yeah,
So
very
maybe I'll
soulful.
find something out.
It's a
poppy,
girl
R&B.
group.
No, it's a guy and a girl.
Oh, it's a guy and a girl.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
No, no.
He manages them or what?
Yeah, he manages them.
Okay. And,
Sometimes
they're
what he
doing
called
well?
Himself, yo. I've.
They're doing well?
right?
They're doing all right. Yeah. They're on tour and shit.
What'd you say?
I thought that's what he called himself. I know.
At first I thought he was
That's not
probably
even
in
a
the group.
shot. I swear, I thought that was a nickname for
that's
himself. When he said it's a guy and a girl, watch the video. I'm like, huh? Oh, it's a group, but he manages.
Wow. No, because that would be kind of. I mean, I don't know if he's emotional, but you got like orange hair. So that would be,
Rory's
like,
my guy, man.
That
I
is
love Rory.
weird that it ended up like the band name is kind of like descriptive of him. I wonder if there's any other like examples of that. You know.
Oh, that's funny.
Bro. Adam, thank you for coming by, my man.
Much love,
Appreciate you, dog.
Much love.
Peace.
Appreciate you, G.